Hey everybody, Jeff Bates is my name. Dolewhipdad is my channel. DisTube is the show. We got 3 guests. I'm pretty sure this is a record. Just really glad to go live. I got to be honest. YouTube's been a little weird today, but 3 guests, all peppertreevilla. You guys want to say hi while I pull up the chat?
Hi, how you doing? Great to be here.
Yeah, we're peppertreevilla. I'm Doug.
I'm Ben. And I'm Arnie.
Wow, you guys practiced that. That was too perfect.
Yeah. Brothers look alike.
So I know exactly where I want to start with you guys as I see who's popping in the chat and all that, as we're letting them come in. And again, I'm going to say it, I'm really glad it's working because YouTube's been really weird with live streams today. Peppertreevilla is a cool name. I don't know what it means.
There's a video on our channel
and all that as we're letting. Oh, that was me. Sorry.
There's a video on our channel that explains the whole pepper tree concept. There's a California pepper tree planted in front of the house. Doug is holding up a sample branch of Keith, our pepper tree.
These are indigenous to California. They're all over Southern California too. And Disney uses as major landscaping. It's an evergreen, so it always stays green all year round. So it never loses its leaves. It sheds like crazy, but it's always green. Well, on the tram ride on Disneyland, that's all you see on the side is these, and they are a great camouflagey tree. And as we've been going to Disneyland so many times, we said when we get our own place, we want a pepper tree. So for our housewarming gift, his other brother bought us one, and we have it on there, and the thing has grown. And our it's huge. The trunk is like this.
And our brother's middle name is Keith. So we named the tree as a namesake for him.
We named everything in our house. The oven is named Paris. The palm trees are the tiki room birds. So that's Jose,
Mike, Fritz, Michael.
So we had names for absolutely anything.
Our washer and dryer we call Wilma and Betty.
So we have you have a different language when you come here because everything has a thing to it.
A thing to it. I like that. Yeah. You know what? My favorite part of that was my other brother. You said his name, but I was going to ask you, does he go by the other brother? Because Ben
and I were twins, and the reason why our names are A and B is because I was born first.
Yeah, that was just wrong. You need to tell us before. So I've got Peppertreevilla in my head. You guys are Disney fans, you're Christmas fans. You're starting to go live, and then there's another one, and I got there was a day or 3 there that I was a little confused. To be honest. So
we have 2 identities. They do think are you really a Ben or Arnie, or you just want to change your name during the time? It's kind of funny. We'll be going to the store and someone will come and go, "Hey Ben, how are you?" And then Arnie will turn around and go, "You are," and vice versa. I've had coworkers or networking people that will say, "God, Arnie is like really rude." You know, I said, and I said, "Oh, you met his brother," and I'm like, "Oh, no wonder," because when we've gone to parties and stuff,
man,
usually really chatty with me, but he looked at me like he was pissed off or something.
I need to do that. So you know what? I've just figured out my next new lie. I've got a jerk brother. I'm telling you, because I'm a jerk plenty of times.
It works. It works.
I have it. I find it hard to believe, knowing your guys' channel pretty well, that either one of you are ever jerks. But I can get away with it. I'm sure of that.
We try and project who we want to be.
So, yeah, there you go. Right? I love that. Hi, everybody in chat real fast. Guys, I'm glad you popped in. Steve's in the house. The Disney Dude's in the house. Cargo's in the house. Zippity Doodad in the house. Welcome in, everybody. RVing to Disney. Wishing Mouse. Christie's Corner. If I missed you, I apologize. Jose Luis Garcia. A hard name I can't say. I'm super, super happy you're here. And I'm happy you guys are here. I told them before we went on, once I started to really fall in love with your channel, I thought, well, I'm going to have them on for sure. At least I'm going to invite them, right? But I planned on doing it Christmas because I'm a Christmas nut. And like we mentioned before we had people to watch us talk, the Clark Griswold Christmas vacation, I'm going to say it. That's goals for me, man. I want everybody in town to be mad at me about Christmas or happy about me for Christmas. And you know, it's going to be hard. We got a new neighborhood. I don't know how it's going to be, but we decorate our inside of our house even more than our outside, which is really what you were saying before. Why would you talk to me and to us about that? I love people who love Christmas. I actually interchange the word Christmas and Disney because those are the 2 things I love the most. I've honestly done that. you love Christmas so much that you've got multiple trees in multiple rooms. Yes.
Yes.
Why do you guys love Christmas? Let's talk about that.
Okay, well, first started back in the late 80s. Our father passed away. We were very young. But at that time, our sister was married. And to help my mom meet, all the bills and things like that, they moved in together. So we're a corporate family. In order for that to happen, we had all these Christmas decorations. So we thought, why don't we both put up Christmas trees? So we ended up with 2 trees. And then it just kind of like snowballed from there. And suddenly one year we had 7 trees in the house. Or was it 9? 10. 10, that's right.
And
That was 1999.
That was in Oakland, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and
So then fast forward a few years, we bought what we call Peppertreevilla now. And the first year that we had it, we were still in the midst of remodeling a house, but I had to have a Christmas tree. So Doug said, sure, do it in the living room since the carpet's already down, everything's painted, let's do it there. So we had the 1 tree. The next year, all bets were off and we had at least 1 tree in every room. And that's just because we had so many Christmas ornaments. I thought, I've got to put all these out and display them.
And everything is super hyper themed. And when I mean like the crystal tree is all glass, silver, and crystal. And it has all these Swarovski ornaments on it. I mean, it's dripping. Each tip of the branch has a icicle on it. It is a crystal. And then we have a nostalgia tree. Since we had so many ornaments, we're like, let's get a tree for this. Let's get a tree for that. When we like trains, we actually fill up. We can even go bigger of a 4-foot tree. And then we upgraded our trees because back in 2008, a gentleman here, his brother could not have a real tree, but they hated all the fake trees. So he created a company and used molds and created a company called Balsam Hill. And if you look at like Ellen and stores and shows, they have Hallmark Channel. They use these super realistic fake trees. I mean, we're talking super realistic.
They're all from Balsam Hill.
And they're in the South San Francisco. They
And
actually
so now
all of our trees are all Balsam Hill.
So now we're starting to use Balsam Hill almost exclusively in the house.
so I just wrote down Balsam Hill because I'm a nut for this. So I
Go
have
to Balsam Hill and you'll see 'em.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I talked to you. Say that again.
But go to Balsam Hill and you'll see how beautiful the realistic trees are just from their website. You're going to be like, these are fake trees. And they're
So
okay price. They're not, Walmart cheap, but you get what you pay for and that's going to last forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how it is. And now we just have everything and, it's just,
So
it's so much fun.
slowly but surely, we're replacing all our trees with Balsam Hill. But
Wow.
we do have the different themes throughout the house. And I guess one of my favorites is our 101 Dalmatians tree. It's just a slim pencil tree. It does have 101 Dalmatians on it,
Wow.
101 black spots. Each of those spots has a Disney pin on it.
No way.
And Cruella sits on top.
Of course she does. I love that.
And the dogs of the 101 Dalmatians are literally 101 little puppies that were at a McDonald's promo in 1995.
I remember that. So I have a awesome wife and awesome kids, and they're all Disney nuts. And I was probably in better shape before that promotion. That's 100 freaking Happy Meals, and yeah, I know you could.
You know what?
Story.
I started.
Yeah, we had a workaround on that.
There was McDonald's. This was really good.
Yeah, I started eating McDonald's Happy Meals just to get the dog. And I thought, after the 5th meal, I said, there's got to be an easier way.
So what did we do? We approached someone at McDonald's.
I'm just glad you didn't rob a McDonald's. I thought we were gonna be breaking in, but okay, here we go.
We approached someone at the store and we asked them, hey, we know these dogs are available in the Happy Meals, but can you get all 101 in one box, whatever? And they said, yeah, fill out this form, send it to here. It's this much money, and they'll send you the whole collection.
So they ended up being about $1 each.
And it was a fancy box, and foam. Each one went in its own little thing, and it all folded up like a storybook. I mean, it was gorgeous. And so you could buy it, the whole set, without having to buy a Happy Meal.
I've seen collections of glass ornaments that had less stuffing around them.
Well, man.
And then Cruella the doll is on it.
Yeah, so that's one of the trees. But
That's awesome.
We have the mouse head tree.
We had the mouse head tree. If it has 3 circles, it's on the tree.
Has 700 ornaments on that. That's in the master bedroom.
Tree.
The train tree is in the master bedroom.
The Disney tree is in the living room. That has over 1,000 ornaments on it.
Whoa! So wait a minute.
And it rotates.
You're very specific about some of these details. Like, I'm like the least. Christy Corner. Christy, you're in here, right? I'm the least detailed human on the planet. You've just told me 3 or 4 very detailed, specific, informational how many you have on a specific tree, and I'm not getting the sense that you're guesstimating. Am I right? You know it exactly?
We know everything's archived. We know every bit.
I've archived it. I've counted every ornament. And the reason why is because every year we have an open house. People come in saying, how long does it take you to do this? How many trees? How many lights? How many ornaments? So I keep track of that kind of thing.
Because we're getting tired of answering that question. So my dad, guys, you do need to count every single ornament. So 2-3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, when we were putting away, we counted every single ornament. And I'm not joking.
I believe you. So I could have guessed that you're all nicer than me because I'm me and you're you. But I would definitely have said some number to shut them up, but I wouldn't have bothered counting.
And we were just as interested as everybody else.
Actually,
I mean, that's fair.
And then we know our ornaments so much. Like, I know my cookbooks. I have like 1,000 cookbook collection because also vintage stuff.
Yeah,
I go to
see behind us. That's part of the cookbook collection.
It's everywhere. I have so many cookbooks. I like
Google in San Francisco.
Sorry?
Huh?
You guys have Google in San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's south of San Francisco.
No, I mean that's a good point too. But I mean,
yeah, we have Google here.
Okay,
But Doug just loves books.
I do too. But
I love books, and yes, you can find recipes online, but there's something about having the books. But I go to estate sales, and sometimes I go to garage sales, or thrift stores, but estate sales. And we went to an estate sale with last year, and I had so many Hallmark ornaments.
Ooh.
And I had to get these 2 over because I'm like, I want it. And I didn't have a really good cell signal at the time because I was going to say, do we have this? Do we have this? Do we have this? Do we have this? I finally got them over at lunchtime. And they were like, if you watched Big Bang Theory with Sheldon Leonard, I don't know if that was a big show you watched.
One of my daughter's favorite show. I've watched it a total of 0 times.
Okay, well, there is a scene of, and they were at the comic book store and they were going through each one. They individually wrapped and got it, because they had all of them. Well, they were at the estate sale and they looked at it and like, we have all of these. and it's pretty bad. We do not duplicate. You guys it's memorized in your brain, but it's insane. Wow.
Yeah,
they know every ornament they have by memory.
Yeah, they have that house in Pittsburgh. I have a house in Oakland with my sister. And between the 2 households, we've had somewhere roughly around 20 to 25,000 ornaments, and we're very intimate with just about everything.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to be in order to continue the collection.
And then I found one just a couple weeks ago, and I said, do you have this one? Because we have these discs. And he's like, no, but my sister does.
Okay.
And I'm like, so Christmas is such a big part of it.
This is how bad it is.
Love it.
The mouse head tree has, I think it's about 650 ornaments on it. And over 100, between 100 and 200 of those are just keychains. We use keychains.
Wow.
There's one specific type of ornament that's probably about that big. And those keychains I got at California Adventure. I picked up one in Paradise Pier and I saw it. I said, that's kind of cool. It was like an animal design, like a leopard. I picked it up and then behind it was a zebra. Behind that was giraffe. And then it just kept going and going until I had 70 of these keychains in a bag and they were going out of the park in my hand.
We see those and we know exactly the temperature, the time, the trip, everything. Every time we look at those ornaments, we knew that trip of when we got them because we went through this huge bin and we had to get one of every single one of them. It ended up being over 70 of these.
Yeah, so we're planning a big trip for the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World in 2021. And we're already anticipating, we're going to go between Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2021. That's the goal. But we're already anticipating having an empty tree all lit and ready to go. So when we get back, we're going to fill it with all the stuff that we get.
I love that.
In 2005, Disneyland was celebrating the 50th anniversary of Disneyland. For the tree that you did,
Yeah,
I bought satiny gold
these
ornaments from Target.
I bought satin gold lights actually at Target and put them on the tree, and I was a little excessive with the lights.
You were liberal with them.
I was very liberal.
I mean,
it was so many. I had over 2,500 lights.
No, it's 3,000.
Oh yeah, that's right. 3,000 lights on the tree.
I love you guys. I had 20. No, it was 3,000.
It was.
That's right. It had its own weather system.
Zip code.
It was almost like a giant gold traffic cone.
Yeah, we did not need to put on the heater in the house that year. The house was heated by the tree.
Oh my goodness.
All the ornaments had to do with Disneyland and the 50th anniversary. So it was a very, very memorable tree.
So we might most likely do one and do, because we have quite a bit of Walt Disney World, and we're going to probably do also a 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World.
Love that. So you have a tree that's basically 50th anniversary stuff, ornaments. Is that fair? Is that what you said?
No, just that 1 year.
Just that we celebrated that. We just themed all gold lights for that 1 year to honor Disneyland.
And then all those ornaments that were centered on that tree were then dispersed to the other trees that are themed throughout the house.
I asked that specifically because in '95 it was the 40th anniversary, and I collected all kinds of stuff from that year because I wanted to, and I still do, and I love it. I don't know why well, yes, I do, because I went a lot that year. But the 40th,
we did too.
We lived in Orange County that year.
Oh, I bet we banged into each other a million times.
I'm sure
I was there all the time that year.
Absolutely, in 1995.
Yep.
That was the year they did the trading cards.
Yes, I have. I'm almost done with the set. I don't have the whole set. Do you guys have that set?
Two.
We have
Four.
Oh, that's right. Four
two
sets.
boxed.
4, 2, 6.
That's right. 4 sets.
I need the 55, the 56, the 57, and one other one.
Yeah. The thing is that I was actually working less than a mile from the park that year. So what I would do is I would go to the park on my lunch break, and then Ben would meet me after work, and we'd go to the park before they closed at 6 o'clock. We would get our sets. But they also did this thing where if you renewed your annual pass before a certain date, they would give you a pack of them in a box.
Oh,
So
no way.
we each got a box set.
Yeah.
Where's? I think it's over here.
So the pack was the set, or the pack was random?
It was the
It
whole
was like
set.
a deck of cards.
Yeah.
So where Club 33 is, which might be a good segue, where Club 33 is now used to be like an art store. I guarantee you guys know this.
Well,
And they would have the 2 sets out. They would have
Yeah.
It's 21
actually
Royal.
The Dream Suite is in
there
that
we go.
location.
That is the set that we got.
I have almost bought that on eBay more than 20 times, but
Yeah,
almost.
The checklist on the back, and it's filled with the cards.
So you have unopened set and an open set?
Yes.
Yeah, 2 of each.
This is I'm jealous face. That's awesome. Because I will own the whole set in the binder, because I have the binder and I'm almost done, and then I'm gonna have to buy. I've seen them insanely high price, and I've seen them pretty low too. So I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not going eBay that much, but you know.
Jeff, what kind of binder do you use for the cards?
It's the it might even be here.
Is it the 40th
binder that they sold or whatever?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You have that?
I've got that on my shelf at home.
Yeah, I wish I knew where it was. If I didn't just move, I would know where it was. Christy's calling me a hoarder. I'm a hoarder on some stuff. I right now my house looks like I'm a hoarder. I run a nonprofit, and we have a resale shop, so we get stuff all the time. And hoarders make me crazy. Like I don't need to be like Mr. Neat by any means. I'm not detailed at all, but I don't want my dirt, let alone other people's dirt. So, I don't know. Kind of freaking me out a little bit, but
I have some friends that we talked about that, and I call ourselves that. In classic terms, we might be considered as hoarders in certain ways, but actually, what we're extreme collectors.
yeah, I mean, I'm a collector. I collect a lot of stuff.
Collectors, so we actually have collector kind of stuff because hoarders just hoard. They just collect crap and just stuff all over, not matter what it is. We're very discerning palates, so we can't have it all, and we can't afford it all, so we have specific poison. So he's Small World. He'll buy everything Small World.
Oh,
right?
my grandma loved Small World. That was her favorite thing. I have not enough. I have a few things, but they're all because of my grandma.
My favorite thing that I have from Small World is a print of the Tower of the Four Winds.
I got you that.
Yeah.
I got him that. So we're
Wow.
Space Mountain fans. We're train fans. I'm Haunted Mansion, and that Haunted Mansion, what Disneyland did to us, really,
Yeah. As a matter of
it
fact,
put me to tears.
What they do to you? What I'm looking for? I think it's right here. So I'm kind of being rude. I'm looking for it.
No, they're trying to celebrate the 50th anniversary by charging $300 for 3
Yeah.
hours.
So
I actually didn't realize I had a line to cross with Disney because I take it. I'll take whatever they charge. I'll pay. But with that day when that came out, it put me to tears. I said, I won't do that. That was ridiculous.
I actually told my wife, I'm so glad it's that expensive. And here's why. If it wasn't that expensive, I'd be going, and I don't.
That's it.
same here.
We were rational to think. I was seeing it for over a year or 9 months.
Yeah.
I'm going. I don't care if I'm sick or have one leg.
As it
I'm
is-
going. And they,
as it is, 2 weeks after that is D23.
Yes.
And we're going to be going down for that to meet up with a lot of our Disney Ohio. I know Jim from Sunshine Please is going to be there, and I've already told him, hey, you and me, Toad, it's a date.
Love it. Oh, I'm jealous. Yeah, it's not in there, and I'm not going to spend our whole time together looking for it. Next time I'll show you somehow. But you guys know what it is. You've got the same thing. So, but I was going to show everybody. So there's been a whole bunch of questions in chat. Let me go back. I think somebody said that you're clearly like their brothers, or they're your brothers. I think Christy thinks she's related to you. Let me find where it is. More sunshine, please. Hey, how are you, Nathan? Hey, how are you? Welcome in. Miguel loves. Oh yeah. So a lot of people have. Well, 2 or 3 people have said they need to see, or they're asking me to ask you, will you do a Christmas tree trail video thing?
Oh,
You have one up. I made my wife watch it one night not too long ago. So you have one for last year, right?
yeah, we do, but we're going to do more than that, actually. Probably starting in October when we start decorating the trees, we're going to live stream the process.
Oh, I love it. So I live streamed. It was a little 3-foot tree. I live streamed Disney pins, making them into Christmas ornaments. It wasn't anything fancy by any means, but it was really fun. So I'll probably do that this year, but I'll probably have to do it. I don't know, maybe watch yours first and get some ideas.
Actually, that's
Go
a
ahead.
nice segue to my next episode of Life with Ben coming up on Tuesday, only on PTV. I'm going to be showing everyone how I display my Disney pins in my room by
Nice.
using shadow boxes that I buy at Michael's.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that
cool.
was the one collection that we have, and when I mean by we have
Oh, let me go get it.
thousands of thousands and thousands of pins since the opening of the 1998 Tomorrowland when they actually started to make pins.
Nice.
We have pins. I thank God that's the only thing I drank the Kool-Aid for from Disney was the pins, because we have zillions of it. But I did not get into Vinylmation. I don't have a single one, and no one gifted me one. We have no Funko Pops, and we never did a single Zoom Zoom. So that's where I said we're a discerning palate.
I'm 2 of those 4. 2 of those 4 I spend too much money on.
They're all, but
Exactly.
you can.
It's so easy to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get one. They're cute.
Yeah.
You like it. But there's another one of that, and it goes to that collection, and it's that collecting mentality, and human beings have this addictive personality that you're like, but I want this one. But
Yeah.
this one's cool, but this matches that, and I have to have the whole set.
It's so right. So I'm a Hatbox Ghost fan. I got a Hatbox Ghost Vinylmation because I had to have it, and I was trolling eBay, and I just wanted it. And then I'm at this convention, and they're giving out Disney things, and they were those Vinylmations, and I got a whole bunch of Disney dogs. It was this. I don't know. I don't know what to. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, Funko Pops, if they're Disney, I'm into, and Disney pins. I mean, my daughters collected Disney pins for years before I even knew what they were. We homeschooled our kiddos. I went to work. They went to Disney. They would go 2 and 3 times a week. And they had a whole full, like, I didn't know what they were talking about. I just knew it was my money. But they had this whole collection. And so I actually started getting Disney pins just because I'm being a good dad. And now I'm the junkie. It's my thing now.
Oh yeah, Disney knows how to master merchandise.
Ben-
Big deal.
Ben
So
just brought
this
his
has
pin
been
box.
this is
Ooh.
closer. This is DCA, and you.
Oh,
You're kind of like angle it. There you go.
There we go. These are attractions that basically don't exist anymore.
They're all from DCA.
Get a little.
oh my gosh. So if somebody breaks in your house and steals just that, it's probably me. That's really cool.
And that's just a small portion of my collection. I've got hundreds of pins that hang on my wall.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
we.
it's bad. It's an illness.
Great.
I mean, you got the collection of the cruise line, but now with the pins, Disney still makes quite a bit of them. But last time I was there,
we're very selective now.
I'm like,
simply because when you have thousands, you know, you start picking and choosing.
But I don't feel like they're making them as cool they were 10, 15 years ago, to be honest with you. And they're staying around. And now that there's so much intellectual property where everything is Star Wars and Marvel, that's where I'm like, and I appreciate Star Wars. I think Star Wars is a great pop culture. You're more of a fan. I can say
Chewie.
Oh, Chewie. It was that thing, the live streaming of it where Chewie was in the Millennium Falcon was very cute.
Yeah,
it was heartfelt. Did you see that?
Are you talking about the opening?
Yeah, the opening ceremony with Bob Iger.
I saw a little bit of it. I don't think I'm aware of what you're talking about. I didn't see that part, but
yeah, it was kind of cool. The little ceremony was just heartfelt. It was very nice, short, sweet, and then they opened up the land. Now the place is a perpetual zoo.
Okay, I'm just gonna open a small cabinet on that one.
This tells you another way.
Here's another one. If anyone wants to Google the 501st Legion, it's a Star Wars group. Go to Wikipedia, and you'll see my name in the listing there, or it should be anyway.
Very cool.
Yeah, I used to have a website in '97 called Stormtrooper Land, and
he can't be not loving on Star Wars, and you're have Stormtrooper Land. Like, there's a disconnect here.
This is where he actually had the.
I started with it. I have a suit of Stormtrooper armor that I got back in '97.
That's awesome.
And I was one of 4 people that started an organization called the 501st Legion. We were actually originally called the Fighting 501st. Vader's Fist. And so, yeah, exactly. When it started, it was 4 of us, and then it slowly snowballed, and now there are thousands of people all around the world in different groups and organizations that are all part of this group. I backed out of it years ago, but I just didn't have any time for it at that time because it just got
the snowball pushes it down and then watches what happens. I see.
That's exactly what it was. And then when I see people at Star Wars Celebration with everything, with the logo that we created back in '97, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I cannot believe what we started.
Well, you saw that guy at Target out of the blue. He was part of a Legion, a chapter, and the guy goes, "You're one of them," and we're like, "Yeah."
And he said, "You're who?" I said, "I'm Arnie." He says, "You're one of the people that started it." I
You're
said,
number 4.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool.
It was really cool. So yeah, Star Wars to me there's a little soft spot in my heart for Star Wars too.
I love it. I love it unapologetically. I'm a Marvel fan because my daughter is, and Disney bought them. But whatever, they're fun. Whatever, they're better than they used to be. I used to not like superheroes at all. Whatever, they blow things up. It's fun. Whatever. But Disney stuff and I was the guy. I think there's a lot of us, but when Star Wars was bought by Disney, I was like crying with happiness because I knew they were going to a million things for me, and they did. They are. I like Solo. I feel like I'm the only guy who likes Solo, so that's how much I like Disney.
Wow.
Yeah. It's really cool. I said when we saw the press release get out, we were waiting in the area to see World of Color, and all of a sudden everybody's like, you could hear the ruckus, and you just hear it just closed. Like within a few minutes, it spread so quick. We saw these bumps come up on our phone saying the mouse just bought Star Wars. And where I said, what? And everybody's like, did you hear it? Did you hear it? And we were there live, we're waiting.
It was funny. We were waiting there in the park that night.
All of a sudden, everybody's just gossiping. He's like, you cannot believe it just happened. It just happened. It just closed.
I don't remember. When was that?
It was a summer we're watching. And then I told him, I said,
we were watching.
There's 2 things that's going to happen what the mouse is going to do. Either it's going to take it with it and run, and it's going to do monumental, fabulous things with Star Wars. Or the other, it's going to screw it up. Well, I was right on the one.
So you're a Disney nut. I'm a Disney nut. What has Disney screwed up? Let's be real.
No, they haven't screwed it up.
Well, you just never knew.
Why did you think they might is what I'm asking.
That they could.
No.
They could have sullied it.
I think where he goes, because when they do grab something, sometimes they will squeeze it to the point where it's like, okay, enough's enough. That's what happened with, like, for instance, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
That one was just they squeezed the life out of it, and then no one watched it anymore.
You know,
right. That's a good point.
They play safe. They know that they have this cash cow. They want to do it. They don't want to, you know, destroy the apple cart a little bit, but they didn't. They took stuff that's unimaginable that we can't even think of. But you do know when corporations that get it, they say they're going to let go, and they're going to like, but some can't. And then they put too much control on it. Then they have too many people on it, and then you just feel like they. You know, I didn't know if Disney would do that because, you know, Disney has its own secret sauce.
Now, there are some people right now that are probably saying that Disneyland has ruined Star Wars. But
I've read some articles. Yes, people are saying that.
There are some people that have said this. And the reason why they're saying this is because they want to come into the park in cosplay. They want to dress in their costumes and come and experience Galaxy's Edge. But Disney is not letting them because of their longstanding rule of no one in costume. And they don't understand this. There's a complete disconnect.
Yeah, you're right. I agree. Well, and there's also part of it, I think, there's plenty of people who are just terrified of change. And like, I mean, everybody's mad right now because Luke Skywalker might not be perfect. And I mean, it's a character. Let him, I mean, here's the thing. When you fall in love with characters, there's plenty, whether it be a Disney character, a Star Wars character, or a character in a book, like it's the whole thing. You read a book you love, you go watch the movie and you don't like it. Why? Because it's not as good as what you would have done. Well, then do it your dang self, right? Go write Die Hard 12 or make it your own story or whatever. Because somebody else's opinion is going to be different than ours, right?
For me personally, the best characters in any story are flawed.
That's a great point. Breaking Bad is the best TV show ever.
Yeah, there you go.
You want to live vicariously by someone who is different from you, but has a lot of similarities because you can relate to them. That's where we fantasize, and that's why everybody says all the Star Wars movies are horrible. But you created in your mind what you wanted. Well, this is a company that's there to make money. They're doing it, and they want to take it to this direction. Now, you want it this way. It's not a bad film because you wanted it this way to go this way because this is what your brain fabricated, and your imagination is more powerful than anything.
Absolutely.
So something, and it's not what your imagination was. You're like, oh, that's horrible. Well, no, this is what someone else wanted.
And it's silly anyway because people change. So if you're mad at Han Solo, how he acted at 20, because you have an opinion on how he would have acted at 20, you don't know how. I'm 49 now. How I acted at 25 probably has no relation to this person you're talking to right now because I'm a jerk now. I was a way bigger jerk then. It is what it is. We change. So it's a little, people are just crazy, I think.
People are just, they have some, you know, it's like we got to sometimes get away from out of the emotional feelings and step back that it's not yours. You do not own it. So you might feel like you have this ownership to it. No, it's... You can relate to, and that's why we believe and we like Disney so much because it's an escapism. It's that brings so many people close together. So do we have who else wants to know? I mean, what else do you want to know about us? We're going all over on the tangent.
Carter asked quite a while ago. I'm way behind in chat because I left it up there. Please ask them to show their parking passes from their trips.
Oh, my parking passes. It's right up there. It's the... we all have little ticks and little things that we do. And ever since I've been going since 1999, and I don't know how I've been keeping it going, is that every time we park, I keep the parking tab, the parking tick. And here is every single time I've been to Disneyland, and I have every parking ticket dating back to July 15th, 2000.
That's a little crazy.
And I keep every single time. I'm like, did you keep the parking ticket? You know, a lot of people just chuck it because it's not it. And every single one. And then there was times that we got there late and they just whisked us in. They didn't even make us look at our pass. So what I wrote on there, and I got in there it was like 8 or 9 o'clock, but we still wanted to get into the park. Well, they were not taking parking tickets. You know, they were not checking. They're just telling everybody to go into the structure. So what I would do, since I didn't get my ticket, but we parked and we were going to be at the park for a couple hours, I wrote down on a piece of paper that I parked on this day.
Wow.
Did you see the size of that stack? It's like a package of graham crackers.
And they're like mint condition.
Yeah, I just
What happens to my parking ticket? I step on it 12 times before I get home.
But it has every single time I've gone to Disneyland or California Adventure.
I love that. So it's funny you say that. My mom and dad had a soup tureen. I'm not sure if that's the real word, but a big, ugly, fancy, super ugly that I mentioned it was ugly soup thing.
Mhm.
They sit in the corner of their kitchen with just it was like a drunk drawer,
Yeah.
but whatever. But on top of the pile was always Disney tickets. So e-tickets, well, there's no e-tickets, but all the ticket books that were left over. And I, as a kid, would very often, rainy day, can't go outside, open up the ugly super tureen thing and play with the Disney tickets. What was I doing with them? Nothing. I was looking at them. I was remembering Disney. And I just think that, I mean, I loved those tickets, by the way. I mean, I bought some on eBay just to have some, as a matter of fact. I'm the nerdy guy who will buy tickets to it. So I went to see George Michael in 1988 because George Michael's awesome in 1988. I didn't keep the ticket. So I was on eBay, and the ticket for the night that I was there was for sale. So I bought the dang thing. So I got it. It wasn't my ticket, but now you guys know that, but nobody else has to know that. And so, but all those parking passes, or that's a lot of trips, big guy. But my point in all that was, I have told my wife, I have told my mom, I wish we had all our tickets from all the times we've been there. But tickets, not the parking tickets. But I mean, that's just as good.
Like e-tickets, the D tickets, and things like that. Yeah.
And
but
then,
you've got a record of every time you've been there, and I think that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And how I've been keeping it up so, excuse this word, religiously, like anal retentive. I mean, I'm making sure I am doing it every single time. Where's all the passes? Where's all the tickets? Then the past probably 15 years, every time we go, we keep the guide maps. So I have these shoe boxes collected of 2 of each of the time,
the time schedule
and the maps. And I have these boxes full, 2 each in pristine condition of every single map of every time I've gone.
I had that. I don't have that, but I have a million.
Not just Disneyland Resort. We also did that at Walt Disney World as well.
So I have dates of every time I've ever gone. And Disneyland is like our home. It's our little sanctuary. It's one of the most important places on earth for us. But we do appreciate Walt Disney World. And for Walt Disney World, I've been there during a Milan event when they had a special artist thing in September of 98 was the first time I ever went to Walt Disney World. And then I went in March of 2000 to celebrate the Millennium Celebration. Right. And then he and I went for the first time in October of 2002.
That was 100 years of magic.
And then we did
2000. 20 years of Epcot. Yeah, 20 years of Epcot. So we were there for the 20th. And then we were there also for the 30th anniversary.
30th anniversary, but we went in 2008 when we went on a Disney cruise. Then 2012 was our last time. So I've been to Walt Disney World 5 times.
That's all. Hey, Fletch and your fan, welcome in. So I got to ask you guys this then. So you've been enough. I grew up going to Disneyland hundreds of times. I think I've got people here who've gone more than me. Clearly, I just saw your stack, but we would go a lot. Okay. Now we're in Texas, which is equally stupidly far from either of the parks I can get to. I might as well go to Paris, right? There's far enough. But we go to Walt Disney World now. Wifey's got family in California, so she goes once a year without me. And then I go to Walt Disney World. So they go twice, I go once, whatever. I grew up at Disneyland. I love Disneyland. When people ask me, and my California Disney friends especially, they want to hear me say Disneyland's better, right? But it's not. But I want to hear from you. You've been there 5 times. You clearly love Disneyland. You clearly love the nostalgia of it. Is that jumping too far? I mean, you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Compare Disneyland to Walt Disney World for me.
We're talking. Okay. Are you talking resort wide or just the Magic Kingdom?
I'm talking enjoyment. You like it better because. Hey, Stacy.
Enjoyment for me, actually, Walt Disney World presents an entire different situation because you actually, when you go to Walt Disney World, you are in a bubble. You are on their property. They go around, they feed you, they let you sleep. You can bathe.
Signs are different colors on the road. I mean,
who doesn't love purple road signs?
Yeah,
I love it.
I know. I always want to go. I wish the road signs were purple. That would mean I'm in Florida.
The theme park experience, I would have to say, yes, is Walt Disney World. If you're looking at the overall bubble, but if we're talking specific Magic Kingdoms. For me, by far, Disneyland blows the Magic Kingdom in Florida away. just the quaintness, the feeling of nostalgia. You know, Walt walked this.
I was going to say, you can get me with one thing. Walt was right there.
It is
Not just
his
he
park.
He lived in the park.
Yeah.
And it just has this quaintness. People just feel a little bit more homey, a little bit more helpful, a little bit more smiley. Whereas in the Magic Kingdom, it has a sense of being a little cold, not sterile cold, but they're there to put the people in. Let's move them around and get them out. And it just has a sense of like, it doesn't have warm fuzzies for me, where the Disneyland park actually gives me the little warm fuzzies.
Do you have something about that one, Ben?
I've only been to Florida once, and that was for the 25th anniversary. So I guess I'm doing a kind of tradition of going every 25 years. But for my money, I would say that Disneyland really does do it. And I say this because they have more to do in that one little tiny plot of land than any other Disney theme park anywhere.
Combined. If you look at all the attractions at Disneyland,
the way they're able to intertwine all their attractions and make it look like it's a bigger place than just 80 acres, that is a phenomenal feat.
And
what is that called? What is that called?
Perspective.
You man, my brain went away. That's Disney. That's magic right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People from Florida that come to California, they walk down Main Street, they approach Sleeping Beauty Castle, and they go, "Oh, isn't that cute? It's such a little castle.
It's so small."
But you know what? It's a sign of history, and I believe should be respected because that's where it all began.
Now, my favorite story about Walt and the history that I have is the fact that anytime he was in the park, and people knew he was in the park because he turned his light on in his apartment over the firehouse.
Yes.
So if anyone was there, they knew to be on their best behavior. Not that they weren't already, but they had to be extra special because Walt
was in town. Yeah.
the boss was there. When he wasn't, the light was out. So the day that he died, some cast member went in, turned on the light in his apartment, and by tradition, that light stays on 24/7. The only time it's ever changed is when they put a little Christmas tree in the window for the holidays.
I think we just saw a video 2 days ago. We watched a YouTuber, and he said something that has been haunting me for the past 48 hours. There's one thing about the attractions at the Magic Kingdom that there's nothing original about that park. There's not anything there that you can say that's the Magic Kingdom. And it really gives that warm, fuzzy feeling. To me, it's a homogenized of everything else. It's something that was done not better, just bigger. Bigger doesn't always mean better. So it just there's nothing original about that park. So that's when I say sterile. When you go to Disneyland, the authenticity, the originality, the creativity is all there in every fine detail. Everything else is a copy of Disneyland. So when it's like the original, there is so many things that you can say, that's Disneyland, that's Disneyland, that's Disneyland, that's Disneyland. The Magic Kingdom, think about it. In there, is there anything that's distinct that's only made and makes that Magic Kingdom? And it got me thinking, like, there isn't.
Yeah.
It was really weird, and I never had that put in that perspective until 2 days ago. And it really is thought-provoking of like, wow. But for the going into all the Magic Kingdoms is kind of interesting. But the overall, like, I'm an Epcot person. I think Epcot is one of the greatest things ever on the planet.
I love Epcot.
And then the whole Animal Kingdom.
My favorite park there on property.
By far is that. Second tied is Animal Kingdom. And I really could care less. And I know people are going to hate me and start throwing, bananas and noodles at me. I don't care for the MGM Studios or Hollywood Studios. I really do not care. To me, it's like California Adventure. There's nothing original about it. And to me, it's a stupid park. There.
Like California Adventure?
Huh? To me, it felt like California Adventure.
Okay.
Because I had that feeling of in its original time. Because it's like, to me, there's nothing special about
California Adventure has really changed a lot. A lot.
Well, I haven't been to it in about a decade now. My family has, but I don't always go to the California trip. And they came back 2 weeks ago from there, and it's pretty good. They actually felt bad because they had so much fun in California Adventure without me doing things I haven't done because they've made a lot of changes.
Yeah.
I really loved California Adventure when it first. I know that the attendance was horrible. I know the locals didn't like it. I really liked it, and I think part of the reason I liked it is there was a lot less people there.
Yeah,
I just like that.
I agree. The whole concept, I've mentioned it on our channel before, but the whole concept of going into the park was walking into a postcard that was greetings from California. And that's why you had the word California in front. And then you had the Golden Gate there. And behind that, you saw in the distance, the Golden Sun in Sunshine Plaza. And people didn't understand the concept. I didn't really get it either. Doug pointed out.
It was definitely a mismatch. I mean, ideally, we're going to do a few things, but it was going to be the Westcott. It was going to be the Epcot on the West Coast, and then it didn't work. And I'm guessing you guys know all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I still like the original idea. Clearly, the public didn't like it that much. I haven't been there since they made a lot of changes, but clearly people are going now. Clearly, people like it.
It's really all about Buena Vista Street and Cars Land.
They've really changed, gave it a good story. It's an amazing park now, and it's standing up and along on its own of the older, bigger brother, and that's where it was a little bit too much. And when you have something that's so nostalgic and people are so ingrained to it, and then you create this park and you're like, it ain't no Disneyland, because to me, they should be together as one thing, because you only walk across an esplanade to go from the entrance of Disneyland to California Adventure. You can do somersaults and you're in the other park.
I must say, I do like that. And since they changed the way security works, you can just go to and from each park without having to go through security each time.
Yeah, the bubbles, they extended the bubbles. So you get out of your car, you immediately get searched. And then once you're on the tram, you're there in downtown Disney. Because before you had to go out, and I'm like, I don't want to have to leave because I don't want to go to eat to downtown Disney.
You usually get searched.
Yeah. You get strip searched.
Yeah,
I like it where we wanted to eat downtown Disney, but we're like, I don't want to have to go through security because,
Yeah.
Now it's like you're all compact, and there's something about the intimacy. So, and I have a small soft spot, but that's a huge, no longer story. I don't want to get into why. I also love California Adventure because I was there part of the opening day ceremony.
Oh, very cool.
February 2001. That was there's a whole detailed story.
We intentionally ignored that time because we thought it was going to come true and it was going to be an apocalypse. The place was going to be so crowded you couldn't get in and everything. And then we decided, let's go in April. So we finally went in April, and Ben and I we were looking around saying, wow, this feels like a Florida park.
It really did.
It was wide and expansive. Everything was clean and crisp and perfect show. It looked great, but the people weren't there.
It didn't have that Imagineering touch because a lot of people don't know. California Adventure was all planned and created. Yes, the Imagineers needed to do the stuff to it, but it was all entertainment and merchandising that created that park.
Marketing did a lot of the park design of that.
So marketing worked with entertainment and merchandising, and marketing is 100% who designed that park. And then they told the Imagineers, this is what we want. And the Imagineers are like, what? So, and it was during a really weird time. So they came, and then they got the second coming, and when they rededicated it, they really needed to rededicate it. So it's an amazing park, but there's an identity crisis.
There's a whole theme here going about the Magic Kingdom originals.
People, I knew we were gonna
Jim at More Sunshine.
Yeah.
He's saying
it's a hornet's nest.
He's saying Snow White's Mine Train is original. The Citrus Swirl is a Magic Kingdom original. The Orange Bird is a Magic Kingdom original. Carousel of Progress.
No, that's
Disneyland. People are so ingrained with my favorite has to be the best, and that's why I asked you that. I didn't the first time I went to Walt Disney World. We all were driving home. We're the crazies that drive, and we're talking. I'm like, all right, so what do you guys like better? We had this conversation: Disneyland, which we've been to 1,000 times, or Walt Disney World. After the first time we went, we've been more now, and I was the only one in the car who admitted that I liked Walt Disney World better. Now, here's why. Epcot, I shouldn't have to say anymore. But then Animal Kingdom, so and it wasn't like, it's like saying, do I love my mom more, or like which daughter do I love more? It's impossible. I love them. And yes, being the fact that Walt walked those streets, and I have the memories of my grandma. I love the Small World because my grandma loved the Small World. I love the art of the Small World because my grandma loved that ride. And, but now they're like, they're mad about the Great Movie Ride, and watch me piss off people. The Great Movie Ride was boring, people. That was boring. So, and I know everybody loves it. Whatever, be mad. I don't care.
I'm sure it was great when it first opened, but it just didn't age well.
It needed constant
I
change.
wrote it twice, and I thought, I'm not getting it, but whatever. People loved it, but that's the thing. We love what we love. We love the nostalgia. I mean, Grandma didn't love the Small World because it was so innovative for my time. It was innovative for her time, and it was, you guys know all this, but I can't believe we're 6 minutes till the hour. I'm in no hurry, but I've got some questions. I get all the questions. What favorite land, favorite character, favorite ride? I'd love to hear from all three of you. I'm on an Adventureland. Whatever. I want to hear from you guys. What do you love best? You can only do one thing, and then I got to
let's go with Ben first because I know exactly what he's going to say.
This is rapid fire.
Okay.
Fantasyland ride. It's a Small World.
I knew I liked you.
Yeah. I'm a huge Mary Blair.
The art is awesome, right? If you just look at the art, it's awesome.
And the way they were able to develop her artwork into an entire building that covers the show building for that attraction.
Love this answer.
It's such a beautiful, beautiful structure for me.
I'm a Christmas nut, and I know you are too. One of my favorite things every year back in the day was going to see the Small World set up for Christmas. I love that.
Small World holiday rules. It is awesome.
And then 1997. It's been going on for like 30 years now.
Yep, it's great.
20 years or whatever. I'm tied, so I have to say both. It's New Orleans Square, Haunted Mansion, and Tomorrowland Space Mountain.
Love it.
I have to do.
And I will say Fantasyland. And I'm a big fan of the dark rides, especially love Peter Pan and Toad.
Toad, I love it. My sister's all-time favorite ride is we used to call it Mr. Toad's Frog because that's what she called it. But it's ride. But yeah, I almost said it. Well, I did say it, but anyway, I can't say it without saying it, Mr. Toad's Frog, because that's what my sister called it.
And the thing is, I also love at Disneyland. I also love Casey Jr. Circus Train and Storybook Land Canal boats. And the only place you get that is Disneyland Paris, and it's not as nice there.
I didn't know they still have that there. Actually, yes, I've seen pictures of that. Now that you say that, yeah, that's fun. I love all that. Okay, so I've two more things that I just got to get out. Ron Dominguez on your Instagram. I know I talked to you about this once on your chat, but for everybody, you guys got to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
Who is that for people in chat, and how'd you get to do that?
Ron Dominguez was the son of a landowner in Anaheim that sold the property to Walt so that he could build the park. And one stipulation they had for building there was they said you need to save at least one palm tree. And it was a relative. It was Ron's grandparents. His grandparents received a wedding gift of a palm tree, and it was planted on property there. So they changed the place of where they moved it, didn't they?
No.
Oh, that is the original spot.
That's the original spot.
So it was the original spot where Ron's grandparents lived on property before it was all torn down. And so the palm, if you look at the Jungle Cruise at Disneyland, you turn to the right, you'll come to where they hand out Fast Pass for Indiana Jones. And just to the right of that is this very immense tall palm tree, and it's called the Dominguez Palm.
And the house, it was put up by the house. So the house that he grew up, that the grandparents owned before Walt Disney would be where River Bear Tellus is, the Pirates of the Caribbean, or Indiana Jones. We don't know exactly, because even Ron, I asked him that question, where was the house and where would it be in this park? And he says it would be practically in Adventureland, because it's where the palm tree was. It was right outside that corner of the house.
Ron,
so the Little Man at Disneyland, do you know that?
Yes, that's right.
Right around there, right?
Yep, that's right. It's actually where the Fast Pass is for Indiana Jones. So if you look up, we say, hey, Ron, it's Dominguez Palm. So there's all these little intricacy things that are at Disneyland. I mean, there's tons of them. And I know the Magic Kingdom has a few too.
But it's
that little... This is the part that I agree with you on Disneyland, though. I love that.
Yeah, and the thing is that we were able to talk with him for like 15 minutes. Most of the people there at the park, they didn't care who he was. However,
I was starstruck
because we knew who he was. We were starstruck because he
took 20 minutes of his time?
Yeah, he has his own window on Main Street.
No, that's awesome.
They each went, because there were so many important people there for the 60th anniversary that a cast member is dedicated to help them whisk out to get them around the park. Well, there was two that these two young girls had with Ron, and they were patiently, but you could tell them they wanted to go. Let's go. We got to get you in. And Ron's all chatty with us, and he just, you know, you can see the cast members are waiting, like, we need to get to this bit in the Lincoln thing, and we have a picture with him. So we're a little bit different. We're more geeky in that aspect, but he loved it that people saw him, and we were like cheering fans, like he was more popular than Michael Jackson.
See, so I said what I said, and I meant it. Walt Disney World wins for me because there's more stuff there. But to go, and I'll just say it, not just because you're here, I would say this anyway, to go to Disneyland with you guys would be awesome because you guys have a love for the nostalgia of Disney. Like, I don't get starstruck that much. I've been lucky, whatever. You know, I do like taking the selfie with the famous person because it's about the Instagram, right? Okay, that's fine. But the dudes who create, the dudes and dudettes, the people who create Disney magic are my heroes, I guess. I love them. And I didn't know that name. I'm not pretending like I knew that name. But when I saw that, I think I talked to you guys that night, actually. Doesn't matter. I love that kind of stuff. I
have a quick question for you.
Anything.
At Disneyland, who is the most famous person you ever saw walking around the park?
That's a good question.
The first one that pops in my head is Joey Lawrence, and he's not the most famous, I guarantee it. But the guy who went, whoa, and he got, but then he's not the most famous. But that's the one that popped in my head when he said it. Let me think about that. I mean, I was there a lot. I bet my mom would know this answer better than me. Nobody's popping in my head, but I know we saw plenty. I went one year. We'd go a lot during the Christmas break, and so every year I would go during the Rose Bowl time, and I would see big football. And I'm a big football nut. Yeah. Nobody's popping in my head right now, but it's probably going to be somebody from that world. It might be OJ, which is a weird one. But I'm not sure. I feel like I'm lying to you. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to, you know what? I'm gonna have to come back and give you an answer because I'm sure something's gonna pop in my head. What about you?
For me, the most famous person would be Paul McCartney.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Sitting in New Orleans Square
at the train station.
Doug and I were with Doug's parents, and we were just sitting along a little brick wall there right outside the train station. And all of a sudden, a cast member is walking by. Paul McCartney is right next to this person. Paul turns to us, gives us a wink, and then continues walking along the way.
Wow.
We were like 18 inches from him.
I don't know what mine's going to be, but that one's going to win. That's cool.
That's pretty cool. Ben, what about you?
It was somewhere in a very, very busy fantasy land, some December that we were there, and I was about 3 feet away from Meg Ryan.
Oh, I like Meg Ryan.
So, and then another time, it was probably during the summer, one time when I was living down there, it was just after ER had premiered on NBC, was really super popular.
Good show.
And about 20 feet away from me, I saw Anthony Edwards.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
And I like more for Top Gun than ER, but that's all right.
Yeah. And then when I was there for the first time ever at Walt Disney World in 1998, I went to Pleasure Island, and there was all these people lined up to get into 8-Tracks, that 80s disco place that was in Pleasure Island. And we were all waiting in line, and to get in, he comes right out and everybody's rushing. I actually saw, and he waved to us. I saw Michael Jackson.
Oh, very cool. I mean, I saw him as Captain EO on the screen, but that's very cool.
And I actually just walked right from him, like, that's Michael Jackson. So.
Wow. Well, he's probably the most famous person of our lifetime, or Elvis. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Wow.
I saw him walking past that. So, but out of the blue, just eating something, sitting down, Paul McCartney just walks into his eye.
I love that.
That was pretty cool.
Oh my God, I just saw Paul McCartney.
That was pretty cool.
That's very cool. The chat's got a few. They got John Travolta, Parnell Roberts. My grandma talked about. My grandma loved Parnell Roberts.
Wow. Oh my God,
great one. Flash in the pan. Stacy says, "I told Ray we can afford to go to Disneyland if we don't have the money for the walking." Oh man, I've not. So have you done the walking in Walt's footsteps? I have not done that.
Stacy will go with you. We'll take you on that walk through Walt's footsteps.
We
just can't get you into his apartment or into the lobby of Club 33, but we'll show you around a lot and we'll tell you all the details of the park.
So there, you just segued into one of the two questions that I'm not going to let you go until I ask. So, and please, whatever you want to say, don't forget. But I'm not going to ask you how you get in there because I know you don't want to do that. But you have been blessed by some Club 33 Tinkerbell dust.
Yes.
I'm jealous. You did a New Year's Eve and a birthday. I'll shut up and listen. Tell, in case they don't know, tell them whatever you want to tell them.
Okay. Yes, we have been quite a few times. So yes, we have been to Club 33.
I've been one less than one time, but I'm going to get one someday.
We have been to the new Lounge Nouveau, the new Club 33. Plus, we've been to Club 1901, the secretive part of the club that goes to California Adventure.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a room called 1901, and if you're at the Carthay Circle restaurant, at the entrance, turn to the right. There's just a regular door, nondescript. It's not marked except for a little number on the wall to the side of the door. It says 1901, and only club members get in there.
And we've been there.
And so we were with the members that we know, and they said, "Oh, let's go have drinks." But,
I'm going to be way nicer to you guys now. Okay, I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, people come in and they look at our Club 33 swag.
Yeah.
Wow.
You've got a pretty cool ornament on there that I was looking at just to prep for this. And but I obviously that night I heard you guys talking on your stream, and I'm like, I like jealousy is not my thing. I don't like it. But yeah. Plenty of jealousy.
You're human beings. We have the envy and jealousy, and we have been blessed. And I believe that we can express that we've got to do stuff that a lot of mere mortals do not do. We call it the holy holies of Disney.
Ben is grabbing a couple of things from up there.
We know executive producers. We've done the tour of Pixar Studios.
Nice.
We've done a lot of cool things at Pixar. The only thing I can say, I've done so many things at Disney with and around Disney. There's two things I need to do, then I know my life is complete. I still haven't been on property of Imagineering or WED in Glendale, and I still have not.
Very dusty.
I've been to the studios where the outside gates where you see Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs there in Burbank, but I haven't gone in where I could take a picture of
I want to go
studios.
I want to go to the studios at some point.
I want to get into the studios.
But here is one set of mouse ears that has my name on it.
Oh.
And that's the Club 33 logo.
That's the old
the old one. And this is the new logo that they have after they're remodeled.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we've been very fortunate in one of the trips that we went. I'll tell you this quick story. We were there it was for my birthday, I believe, that we were there. We were sitting at a table for two.
Oh, last year.
No. This is years ago. We were sitting at a table.
Okay.
We were sitting at a table, just the two of us, having lunch, and Mickey and Pluto walk into the club to entertain the guests. And as Pluto is passing our table, he accidentally bumped into the table. A glass of water spilled on the floor, and then Pluto acted as if he had peed on the floor. Mickey came over and scolded him for doing that. And Doug and I are just kind of like cowering in the corner, saying, we just don't need any attention. We're not even members, so please don't pay attention to us. In the meantime, a couple tables over, there's a tabletop of four. They are just laughing so hard. They could not believe. One guy comes up and says, "Guys, don't be embarrassed. Just thank you. Thank you for giving me the best laugh I've had."
Because he obviously knew that we were not members, but we appreciated. So they were watching us the whole time, and they just loved the fact that we were super fans, but we were really cool about it.
But we got there. We were at the table, and the guy said, "Come on, let me introduce you to some people over here." And so we started talking to them. They had a couple of friends with them that they had taken into the club, and the two members, the member there, said, "Well, this is who we are," and then we sat there and talked for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, they had to boot us out of there. The people needed to turn it around because we were there for lunch. They needed to have it closed out. We were the very last to leave, and they're trying to get everybody out.
They pushed us out the door of the club, and we talked there in New Orleans Square for a little bit. We parted ways. Less than a week later, we were traveling back home, starting from Orange County. We come to a place where the 5 and the 170 meet, and we were on the 170, and then this other car was on
8 million of your best friends, I'm guessing, right? That's why I moved out of there for that traffic there. But anyway.
Oh, it's horrible.
It was,
but this is weird.
There are friends in the club's names. Their names were Greg and Alan, and all of a sudden we're driving along the car, and I look to the right, and I see Greg driving a car. I'm thinking, Doug, is that Alan or Greg? I mean, we didn't even know their names as well yet. So I said, "Is that Alan or Greg?" And Doug said, I think it is. So I rolled down my window. Doug honked his horn until finally Greg turned, looked at us and says, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" And he immediately gets on the phone, calls out and says, "I picked up a couple strays on the freeway. They're going to follow me home." And so I had to be at work the next day. We didn't leave their place. We went to a restaurant in Santa Clarita, just north of Los Angeles. And we finally left that restaurant at about 8:30 that night. We had a 5-hour drive still ahead of us, and I had to be at work at 7:30 the next morning. I didn't care. We'd made lifelong friends.
Oh man, that's so cool.
They are our connection into the club. And the thing is, we never ask them to go in. Whenever we're in Southern California, they show up and says, "Hey, come on, let's go to the club."
Wow.
So and the thing is that it's not a situation of, "Hey, come with us. We'll get you into the club." It's not like that at all. We tell them we respect your privacy. We respect the fact that you are members. We're never going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, they've got. I've known a few people, and I'll this is for another time. But they must get hit for, "Hey, could you please?" With every human who knows it, right? I mean, my goodness.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And then when you get members that's been around since ever, they know how to act, and they're so under the radar that you can tell people who are just the using fans and advantage. And
I mean, it's even like this whole community that we have. I don't believe in taking advantage of anyone. We're all here for a purpose. We're all here to support each other.
Amen.
And nobody's wanting up the other. We've all have these experiences, and we can't all do everything.
Well, but that's the thing. When you start talking about the Disney YouTube thing, I mean, I'm passionate about this. This is why I like to do this show. The world that thinks that if peppertreevilla gets more subscribers than me, that's not bad for me. That's good for me. It's good for all of us. I'm just saying you because it's you. Christy's Corner does good. Stacey Rogers does good. Whoever it is, more people. The world is big. More people coming to YouTube for Disney, family-friendly, whatever it is that I do stuff is good for me. If I like Christmas and Disney and you like Christmas and Disney and I'm upset because you grow more than me or whatever, then I'm an idiot because it helps me. Like being selfish, that helps me. That it's not about being selfish. It's just about, I'm hearing a story from guys who love what I love, who got to do something that I'm not like, oh, why do they get to do it? I'm like, oh, they got to do that. That's beautiful, man. And I think that's why I'm over here now. I was on Disney Twitter and I found it very negative and ugly. And I'm still over there, but I don't do anything. But there's negativity. There's negativity everywhere, but there's such positive. I mean, guys like you, people in the chat, like they're having fun in chat. I'm having fun talking with you. They're having fun listening to you. It's a more of a family feel. And I hope it stays that way.
Oh,
I love it.
Me too. There's one question that I see here from Stacy. It says, is there still a long waiting list for Club in Disney?
I'll let you take that.
Okay. The rumor is that the waiting list is 10 years long. However, from what we've been told by people in the club, if you have enough money, you can buy your way into the club immediately.
Oh, really? See, I didn't know that. So, and it's been years since I've done this, but when it was a while ago, but I feel like it was 7 to 10 years then. I might be thinking that because you just said 10, it doesn't matter. But that was just to get an opportunity. Then it's still, what is it, like 40K plus 10 a year? I mean, I don't even know. It's been a long time since I looked, but
outrageous amount of money.
I've heard it
It's crazy.
from
I've heard 10, I've heard 15.
yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know the number.
We don't want to know, and we're never told because it's really none of our business. But again, rumor has it. I've heard someone spew closely that would say it. I think it was to buy yourself in, you have $60,000.
So it's very much like an exclusive country club, like a golf country club or whatever.
Yeah, very much.
I mean, it's for the 1%. I mean,
it's for the corporations who want to have guests buy their stuff. I mean, and if an individual has that kind of money, they're going to sell to an individual. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Hey, Nikki D, how are you? I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Sorry if I'm going to piss off half people. I don't really care. I like capitalism. I want Disney. Here you go. Ready to watch everybody here. We got 14 in the chat. Watch how it goes down to 4. I like it when Disney raises the prices. Now, I am not rich. I'm not even well off. I'm average to above average. We're fine. We're not poor, but we're certainly not rolling in dough by any. I run a nonprofit, all right? We're just normal. I like it when prices go up. You know why? I want to get on the ride before I'm dead. I don't want to be in line for a churro for 4 hours. So, and the world is, I mean, I don't want to be like the guy in Jurassic Park who says, yeah, sure, we'll have a coupon day, but we are blessed. You are blessed. We are blessed. I get to go. You get to go. We've gone. Everybody in chat who loves Disney has gone to Disney a lot of times probably, and kids with Make-A-Wish wishes want to go there. So we're insanely blessed just that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. If you live in America and you're working at 7-Eleven or Walmart and it's your first day, you're in the 1% as it relates to the planet. So I'm not trying to get political. We're blessed. We're all blessed. Well, and if you're a little more blessed at Club 33, I mean, I'm going to buy it, man. I love it.
I think I was born and raised in Reno, Nevada, and I came from a family of 6. There was 4 boys and my parents, and my parents they're still married. Next year will be their 50th anniversary of being married. And my dad owned a Texaco service station, and he was a sole proprietor for our family. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and this was in the late 70s, early 80s. And to me, growing up, the father was we got by. We were not well off. I don't even know if we were middle class. I mean, I knew, let's just say we had clothes, we had food, and if we wanted things within reason, we kind of got, but we went without a lot too. So when I saw all our friends and I go to school, what did you do over the summer? Everybody went to Disneyland. Growing up, going to Disneyland was to me the most important thing ever, and we never got to do it. And because, you're a family of 6, everything costs so much money, and living in Reno is almost like another country.
Yeah.
So it was something that I've always wanted to do. And it was a kind of a form of jealousy because I ever heard this thing about pirates. They were talking, and the Space Mountain thing was really cool in the dark. And it was all foreign to me. I thought it was never happened. So as we got older, my dad and my mom came home one day, and they explained that, okay, as you guys are all getting older, we're going to take the family. We're going to go to Disneyland for the first time. And the first time I ever went to Disneyland was 13 years old. In July 17th, 1987. And so ever since that,
the significant date there is July 17th. And Doug did not know it was the anniversary.
I had no idea of the history. And then I knew I got it. And ever since, I've always liked Disney. And I guess why I like Disney so much is because I'm an artist. And I like drawing, and I like the cartoony and doing the artistic thing. So I always gravitated to Walt Disney at a young age, not knowing any of this. So I got to go at 13, and ever since that, oh my gosh, the ship has sailed.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. The addiction bug was huge. So that was my first time ever. And then after I went there, and even when I moved to California, I thought, I'm never going to get to Walt Disney World. It's so far away. It's on the other side of the country. It's going to cost too much money. There's nothing that can happen. Well, I ended up imagining doing that when I was in 1998. Yeah. So I was 24, and I managed to do it on my own. I was starting to really build up my career. I had some money, and this event came up from Milan. And I said I could do this, and it didn't seem out of line. And I ended up getting an airline through a travel agent at the time. They had travel agencies back in 1998. My first time ever. And so I thought that was like, I thought Disneyland was the moon, and then the Disney World was Mars. And I never thought, we're ever going to get to it. So I accomplished both. I would like to get to the other ones around the world. I hate using that word bucket list, but it is stuff that you want to achieve in life. Hopefully someday I will get to go to all of them.
Dole.
But so he's got one up on me than I don't. But I've done everything and I've done the cruise. We've done the cruise. So we've done everything in North America that you could possibly imagine. But I have not left this country and done another Disney park. You've done Paris.
Yeah, I went to Disneyland Paris in summer of '99. And I couldn't get anyone to go with me. And I offered to pay for the trip.
Call me next time. You won't have that problem.
We were going to plan it in 2006, 2007. We were thinking, let's do this. I really want to go to Paris. And, well, the economy in the world was starting to fall down the toilet. And one thing led to another. It's like, now we're going to be living together. Let's buy a house. And we ended up buying a house, so that's why when we call our oven Paris, because we like to cook and bake, obviously.
Oh, your oven Paris?
Paris, because that was our trip to Paris.
That's
That's how
awesome.
expensive the oven was.
And creme brulee, that's the only thing that comes out of there, right?
It brings us a lot of joy and
That
happiness.
and magical
like
chocolate chip cookies.
yes.
Ooh, we got a little French restaurant down the road that we go to way too much, and I like that name choice. Hi, Mike Wheeler, welcome in. I love you guys' attitude. I love it. And you know what? My point in all saying all that is, anybody who has experience walking into Disney even one time is in the top 1%. They really are. And again, I'm not trying to get political, but I think, and I'm not trying to be religious, that's for dang sure, but we're so blessed compared to everyone else. Like, I'll just say it again, Make-A-Wish kids wish to go where we go a lot.
Mhm.
And they don't, I mean, is that enough said? I think I love being a Disney fan. I don't feel guilty being a Disney fan. I don't feel guilty saying I've been hundreds of times. But I do understand that we're blessed. And I mean, you guys clearly are, and a bunch of people in the chat clearly are. Hey, Gonzo, what's going on? I didn't get to, I asked a little bit of Club 33, and I don't know that if you want to say more, but I don't want to ignore talking about your channel. Like they've certainly got a chance to get to know you guys. There's no doubt. And if you haven't checked out their channel, I got their Twitter, I got their Instagram, I've got their YouTube links in there and in the description of the video, but you guys are blowing up. Like I think you were in the couple hundred recently, and I think I wrote it down. You were 920 a couple hours before our chat tonight or something like that. So I know why, because you're awesome, and I think they know why, because you're awesome. But tell me what your goals are for your channel and what you attribute your growth to and where you hope to go and whatever you want to say.
Can I say this?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
We want to make a lot of money. No.
Yeah.
No. The reason behind that is that we would like to at least annually feed at some point our need to go to Disneyland. And if
I love that. I thought you were kidding. I like that even more now, though.
if we ever get monetized at some
You will in about a week and a half.
if we ever do get the opportunity to monetize the channel, we'll probably put all those funds towards trips to Disneyland and other places to create content for the channel itself.
We just want it to feed itself.
What I be as an entrepreneur, and I've been freelancing and have my own business since January of 2005. I think sometimes, having a stable job, you do the nonprofit, which is absolutely amazing. I think having your career and what you do, you should have control of your own destiny and not rely on the government and your handout and say, you get pay. Stability is very, very important, and you do need it. But there's something about when you have absolute control and when you have all these other little things that help with the main stability. Nothing's guaranteed. He could lose his job. Something catastrophic can happen. Well, when you have control, you can say if you're a failure or not, and you can put as much into it as you can.
Yeah.
So as we do it, it's more as, I keep on forgetting the name. It's supplemental income.
Or passive
income. So as we have our two big ones, I mean, he has the main guaranteed money. Then we have mine that waxes and wings and feast and famine. But then we do make these jams, which is a whole nother thing that everybody wants to know, that we make homemade jellies and jams from scratch. That we do little events and sell for it.
Look at the grin on his face. Oh my gosh.
And people
There's
ask
Dole Whip flavor, because I might be down.
an apple pie jam, a lullaberry.
Well, we do make Dole Whip, but
we do make Dole Whip.
I may have
to
to
pack
myself.
Yeah.
And then, we thought with YouTube, because everybody's like, well, why are you not doing this? What you're cooking? Why are you not on it? Show us how to use the Instapot. So with the talent of having all the technology that we have and the software and everything, I'm like, why not? We kind of knew it. And if it's something that we control and put the effort in, and it's not I hope it's when we get monetized, it's all the little bit. It's easier to collect quarters than dollars. So as long as you can have control of, like, we have a little money coming in here, a little money coming in here, a little money coming, that helps it. Because if you have all your eggs in one pocket and go away, it's going to be hard. So we kind of have a lot of little things.
The original reason to start the channel was really just to share our recipes and our knowledge with our family and friends. And then it just kind of like thought, you know what? We could actually do this
Why not?
for more people. Let's just put it out there. And so we started
so much.
But people love watching YouTube and living vicariously from others. And it's, as he says beautifully, YouTube is...
I call it accepted voyeurism.
I like that so much. I'm stealing that. I'm gonna pretend like I came up with that. That's
Yeah, please do. But
Go for it.
but
Go for it.
you-
I was like, you know what? Jeff told me once it was a tip of voyeurism.
people
how it all starts, right? I love
are
it.
out there combing their hair, and people watch that. They're influenced
So-
by someone saying it, and it's like,
But
okay,
we
you want to
just-
put yourself out there. And
we-
we're still very private
Yeah.
people.
But we just want to have fun with this. And that's what we're doing. We're having fun sharing our lives with people.
We're not
We
taking.
live in a time that the technology will allow you, if you have an internet connection and the ability to give a flying flip, you can make a living. I'm not trying to make a living through YouTube, but I'm not opposed to it. But you can make a living right here. You can drop ship. You can go drive for Uber or Lyft. There's so many things you can do without a boss, even with a full-time job or without a full-time job. I have 2 daughters who are recently married. I have 4 daughters total. And one of my sons-in-laws, right after he got married, he's like, well, what do I do? What do I do? I'm in between jobs. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's so many opportunities. You can make $1 today. You never have to meet your boss. You never have to worry about it. There's so many opportunities. I love that you guys talked about being entrepreneurial. I do run a nonprofit. My 2018, I'm a goals guy. Had a decent career, whatever, but it's been a nonprofit career. So the bank account still is a nonprofit bank account.
He knows all about nonprofits.
Yeah. Well, we should talk. So my 2019 goal was to open 7 streams of income. And I don't even care if it's $100. I want 7 streams of income in 2019 that I didn't have in 2018. And then at the end of 2019, I'll pick the 2 that I'm going to spend 80% of my time on. And then I'll let the other 5 be the 20%. But it's not about, I love what you said. I would like to pay for my Disney habit, I guess is how I would say it. That said, I'm running a nonprofit. We're fine. We're not poor. I can go to Chili's with my family when I want to now and then. I can't go every day, but I can go now and then. But if I could use my, now that my career is where it is, you have a little more free time. I mean, you're plenty busy, but you have free time. You can do what you want. And if I could do something that I love, and there's this and some other things that I love, and monetize it, to use the YouTube word, why wouldn't I?
Yeah,
Right?
and we're not going to just do YouTube. We're also doing a website. We're building it right now, peppertreevilla.com. And that's going to be the depository for our recipes and our cooking tips, so that people, anytime they watch one of our videos on YouTube, we can just tell them, go to our website. You'll see everything there. We'll be able to give you any of the recipes that you need. Just download it. You got the PDF.
You are in control of your own destiny. And
Amen.
you can create, if you're creative enough, there's money to be made and everything. And it's amazing how you can look at it and people are like, well, I need a job. Well, that's cool. But did you know that there's other things that you can create, work, and make money from? You just have to put your mind to it. It takes tenacity, and you have to put creativity, and it's a lot of effort. If you want to wake up, get in the car, drive, get to a place, do what it is, and have a toxic work environment, then that's your thing. But that's your safe space. That's how you see of making money. I look at it as this way of like, well, I do this. I think I've nothing to do it. I don't feel like I'm trying, and I can make money from doing it.
I just saw something here. Juan Rodriguez is in the stream. Apparently, Juan wants to meet up with us when we're in Southern California in a couple of weeks. So we're going to see if we can do a meet and greet in downtown Disney on Father's Day, actually.
Love it.
Yeah, but we'll have to schedule that and set a time up for that. But he says that I will trade you my roasted green tomatillo chunky avocado sauce for a jelly recipe.
I love it.
Yeah, we have actually over 20 recipes, so it would have to be.
So you've got 8,000 trillion bazillion recipe-filled books right behind you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not all of them. That's only a small fraction.
I mean, I feel like I made up a fake number. You have so many.
Yeah.
There are a lot of them up there.
You're not far off. I have a database, literally a database app, and I scanned every single one of them so I don't duplicate. And I don't think all of them in there. And the last time I checked, it was just in cookbooks alone, not including all the Disney. With everything, we have over 1,400 books.
I mean, I joke about it, but the best-selling books are clearly cookbooks.
Yeah.
You're
It's
gonna,
true. It
you're
actually
not gonna
is
do
true.
that. Yeah, it is.
And they're time machines,
And
to
it's
be honest with
it's
you.
evidenced by YouTube. Anytime I would need a recipe or so, there is someone cooking what I need or want on YouTube. It's always there.
I'm in love with YouTube. I mean, I say it unapologetically. I think YouTube is one of the great things we have on the planet right now. And I don't like if you don't get to go to school for whatever reason, you can learn it right here. I mean, if you have an internet connection, and you don't even need YouTube. There's plenty of other things, but YouTube is kind of a depository for it. We're the most blessed. When would you rather be, and where would you rather be? If you could be born at any time in the history of the planet, anywhere in the history of the planet, for me, it's anywhere with an internet connection and a laptop. I mean, and right dang that.
And a cell phone.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Remember the movie War Games? Like, I love that movie. And remember Whopper?
Yeah.
This thing's more powerful than Whopper. I know Whopper's not
Can you
real, but
believe that? I mean, this phone itself will run the Tiki Room.
right?
Yeah. There's more power in this than is needed to run the Tiki Room.
Or the FBI, probably.
Yeah.
It is quite amazing that was speaking of the Tiki Room. We did the Welcome Walt's first footsteps, and the cast took us back and they said, okay, we want to show you something. They came out with a velvet box. He opened it up and it was the original 1963 Ophelia.
That's what they called her.
It was one of the flowers that talked. It was orchid.
It was an orchid. You know the orchids that will just all of a sudden pop up high and start singing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the original first Walt
No way.
audio animatronic. They gave us all cotton gloves and we get to hold it. I was like scared to death. But
Yeah.
you could tell that they were there and we got to hold the original audio animatronic of the Tiki Room.
Yeah, I love you guys. You love that stuff. Hey, Alex, welcome in, buddy. I love that stuff. So, and I don't want to keep you forever, but were you guys interested in, did you pay attention to the big, about a year ago, maybe now, auction they were having? Maybe it wasn't a year ago, but the auction they had down in Anaheim.
That's so Disneyland.
That's so Disney with
Yeah,
that agent guy, I can't think of his name, but whatever.
Mr. Cheesy Pop really pushed it.
Yeah. The agent, I can't think of the guy's name.
The guy's name is, I just saw him and I went, oh, that's so-and-so. Now why am I going to blank? It was his collection.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. That was everything.
I went,
it was amazing.
Wow. And the crazy thing about it, we have some of the stuff that
we
had
have.
in his
There's
collection.
this one piece that I have. Let me go get it.
And I'm like,
I don't think I know what you said. You have what?
We have some of the stuff that he had in his collection.
No.
Yes. And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, we have what this guy has, who has the collection of all collections. It's Richard Kraft. It was
he's a music agent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's
a talent agent, kind of.
Yes.
Agent. There was one piece that was going, actually went for $1,000 on that auction, and it's this little piece right here.
Oh, I just saw that on your. That's so cool. I just saw that on your Insta or Twitter or something.
And it's not Disney. It's sitting underground.
It's just sitting in the house, just lying around.
He has that.
But I have it
for $1,000.
Now the thing is that I would never sell it.
Oh,
but I picked it up.
Yeah.
I picked it up at an antique mall in the city of Orange, just north of Disneyland. Yeah. Well, I don't know how it got off property. I don't even want to know that.
Well, I mean, a lot of it does. I've got. Well, maybe when you're done, I'll tell you a story about it.
There was this antique mall called Lincoln Antique Mall on Lincoln Avenue through Orange, and some of you out there have probably seen the website called Mice Chat and Mice Age. It was started by a guy named Big Al, and Big Al back in the mid '90s had a booth in this antique mall. And that's where I got that sign.
Wow, that's so cool.
Very well connected at Disneyland. I don't know how, and I personally don't want to know, but I got the sign.
It is.
I saw it. I got
that that way. Yeah, I understand.
I got that sign. I said I had to have that sign.
That's so cool.
I paid
I'll tell you a very quick version of a longer story that I should probably share on my channel someday. So a gentleman named Richard, he just recently passed away. We didn't know his name. It was a night that I wasn't there. My wife would go with my 3 and then later 4 daughters without me often. Usually they were out of there. They came home. They went in the day. They got out of there at night because we had annual passes. I was going to work, whatever. One night they stayed late. This guy approaches them. He's not in a uniform of any kind. He's just a guy. And my wife is with her the daughters, right? So she's on her, she's leery. And hey, would you like to have really, really good seats to Fantasmic? I see you guys are sitting here. There's not very good seats here. I can get you right up front. She said, oh, no, thank you anyway, blah, blah, blah. He pushes. She finally figures it's okay. Long story short, he brings them up to the front where he had a blanket set up, and it was like the best spot in the whole place to watch Phantasmic, whatever. Thank you, Orlando Parks Rover. I appreciate that. And long story short, what's going on? Oh, I do this almost every night. I'm an employee of Disney, but I'm not on the clock today. So I set this out very, very early. I just hang out and I find a family that looks like they maybe never had this experience, and I sit them there. And so they sat there, whatever. They talked. He sat with them. We learned all these things about him. And again, he's passed away since, and I won't go into those details, but he worked there. His wife still works there. He's an ultra Disney collector. He was one of the last people who was, I think there was 3 people that were hired by actually Walt himself after him. So he's like the 4th last person that Walt hired. And so I might have that. I might be wrong on that. I don't want to lie, but whatever. He was given 3 or 4 of the old original Disneyland ticket booths, 2 of which sit at his home and 2 sit at the 2 churches that he had a relationship with. And those churches used them for fundraising. I don't know. He told me the story. I don't remember the details, but one of them was once a year that had an event that was I don't know what I'm talking about. Long story short, he had 4 of the original ticket booths. I mean, that's not like a Disney pin. It's a dang, it's a ticket booth. And
the building.
There's all kinds of more stories with him that maybe another time I'll share. But that's the kind of stuff like I think that you guys are passionate about, because talking to the Disney VP, I think it was, and the Club 33 blessings that you've had, and that you love the nostalgia of Main Street. You talk about the windows on Main Street. People don't even know about those anymore. And I love everybody who loves Disney, but I love that, like, your guys' passion is like deep for the history. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I have this little thing also that I picked up at an antique mall, and it's actually a piece of the tile from when they remodeled Space Mountain back in the 90s.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, here, I'm going to mute me so I can know. No, please put it up there so I'll shut up so I can see it better.
Absolutely. What it is it's that orange tile they used to have, because orange was the color of the future.
That's where it was supposed to be at, and that's the actual tile piece.
And it's the person that put this together just grabbed some broken tiles on the floor and just threw them in his pocket or whatever, and put 40 of these things together, framed them, and I was one of the people that just went ahead and said, you know what, I want that. So I bought it. Really? It was at that antique mall.
And Disney.
I never went to antique malls. My mom would go to antique malls my whole life. And I would sit in the car, and I wished that I had an iPhone because I was too young, and I would just sit there and be bored while Mom went in antique malls, and maybe I missed out on stuff like that. That's awesome.
There is a lot of stuff, and then Disney does sell their stuff when they do, and for a Valentine's gift, we also have another piece of Disney, because everybody knows the big parking signs that are on the light posts. So either you're in the Pumbaa parking lot, the Winnie the Pooh parking lot, those big metal signs that are there that would say you're in parking lot 2D.
Mm-hmm.
He got me Simba.
Okay. Back in 2002, they broke ground for what was at that time the Hollywood Tower of Terror. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, excuse me. They had to take part of the parking lot for California Adventure. And so they took down some light posts and things. Obviously, part of the parking was gone. And they took these parking lot signs and sold them on eBay under an official Disneyland authorized account. I went ahead and bought it and had it shipped to my office, gave it to Doug, and now it hangs in our garage.
We have it.
Did you say Simba? It's Simba?
Simba, yeah.
Simba 2D. And it's a gigantic metal parking lot sign from Disneyland, from the parking lot, officially from Disney.
So yeah.
I love that.
When I pull in the garage, I see this giant metal.
So yeah,
it's all weathered. It looks
so our garage is technically the Simba parking lot.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Ben's gonna take a picture. It's hung in our garage, and it's weathered and tethered, and it's a big, gigantic metal frame. It's huge. It doesn't look big because it's on the light post, and you don't realize how everything is so big. But yeah, he's like, he knew I love Lion King. Of all the movies of all the times, Lion King is by far the best Disney movie ever. And so Ben just took it, and that is the official parking lot sign.
Oh my God. Oh, see, I have to stop talking. Oh, I love that so much. So this is so nerdy, and it's not as cool as yours. We just acquired 2 city street signs from the city of Redlands, where my wife grew up. Neither one of them have Simba on them. They're just cool because they were city time. So that's even better. I mean, by a million. But I can speak to, like, she's like, these are really heavy. I'm like, yeah, sure they are. And then I'm like, oh, geez, these are really heavy.
You know, the interesting thing is that everyone that comes over for our Christmas decorations we do, they don't really even notice the rest of the house, but the house is like a
gallery.
It's the Disney Gallery North.
Yeah. If you go into
there's something in every room.
And especially the Disney room, the Mickey room that has the 101 Dalmatians and also the Mickey tree. If you look in it, it has as much artwork that the Disney stores and the malls had at one time. That room has more artwork than a Disney store would have.
Yeah, it's
just, again, we
just geek out on Disney,
and
so
that's what we, disposable income, and you rather eat rice and beans for dinner and buy Disney.
Exactly.
I mean, and now as we gotten older, we're a little bit more, we have a discerning palate, and you start to have to think of priorities because I've just turned 45, so we're all related. But you have to stop and think that you still need to enjoy your life, but you're not going to have everything, but you appreciate it all. And you want to appreciate this is all stuff, and it's just stuff. I enjoyed it for my time, but that's all it is. And it's quite a bit of it. And it brought a lot of memories, and I remember all getting it all.
Very much like the gentleman who had the auction. He said, I loved it. It's time to have somebody else love it.
Exactly.
And there'll probably be that day that, or if we have a massive earthquake, it's not a matter of if or when. We have collection cabinets, and there are a lot of classic collectibles in it, and there's a porcelain-like figurine things. And we know if we get a really, really big doozy, it's a matter of when, not if. I said to him, I'm like, this stuff is gone. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I don't want the house to be destroyed, but I don't want people's life. This is just stuff.
And it's just stuff. We're okay. We'd be fine, but it's just stuff.
You guys have a great attitude. I totally agree. Yeah.
But
I collect a lot of stuff. I don't need any of it, and it's fine if it goes away. I mean, I have a huge baseball card collection that has drifted away, and I wish I mean, it's a bummer, but it's fine. I loved it, and it's fine. I mean, I got plenty still. I got more than I need.
And you had plenty of enjoyment while you had it too.
And I have the stories, and I remember it, and whatever.
Yeah, my dad has done that too. He was obsessed. He was a hot rodder. He was the typical baby boomers, right? In the mid to late 60s, it was all about hot rod and hot August nights. And he was one of the people that actually created hot August nights in Reno.
Oh, wow.
So he restored as a kid a 1939 Chevy Coupe. And it was a pride and joy. He was obsessed, and he didn't care if he had children. That was one of his did. He wanted a hot rod. We moved to California in 92, and he was scared to death to drive it because he didn't want anything to happen to it because it was almost like a show car.
It's like the Ferris Bueller story.
Yeah, well, exactly. And he got to the point where I built it, I enjoyed it, but I don't enjoy it anymore, so he sold it. And then as he's retiring, he got on a thing where he wanted a 2003, 2004, 2005, he wanted a Corvette. Because when he married my mom in 68, he owned a brand new yellow Corvette. And then he also had an El Camino. And he had two brand new cars at 18.
Yeah, his mom actually bought a dress for the prom that matched the car.
Corvette.
Wow.
For her senior prom in 1969. Then they got married in 1970. And so he had all the, he loves cars. He has the typical American car bug. And so as he got older, retired, he's like, I want a Corvette. He had it for 2 or 3 years, and then he just sold it. He said, okay, I'm done. I had it. So he sold it.
I think that's healthy. I do. It's funny. So my first car was a 79 Monza, and it was 2 or 3 shades of really ugly yellow. And now that I think about it, I think my high school girlfriend's prom dress was pretty much that same ugly off yellow. I don't think it was on the same reason, but
so you're the one that owned the Monza?
Monza, yes. And the driver's door only closed mostly, and it was I paid $100. My first 2 cars total $300. My first car was $100. My second car was $200. And 79 Monza, and then a 79 Oldsmobile that was the biggest car in San Marcos, California. There are still dents all around San Marcos, California because of that Oldsmobile. The Monza probably died. I'm
Do you happen to know if either of those cars was won as a prize on split second?
I think that I wouldn't call acquiring those cars winning. I think that would be the problem with that statement there. But it worked.
But one thing I remember with the Monza was I think it was like the first American car that had rectangular headlights.
So you guys are like the only person that doesn't correct. No, Mazda. No, Monza.
No, Monza.
Monza.
It was the Chevy Monza.
Yeah, it was.
And the Monza 2+2.
Yeah.
I mean, you know more about it than me. I just had 3 shades of yellow, so it was 1 + 1 + 1.
Oh, that was our 74 Volkswagen Dasher. 74. It was a 74. It was a 74 Volkswagen Dasher, and the car's name was George. It was given to us by our brother-in-law, and he bought it from someone in Hawaii when he was stationed in the Marines. And the guy before our brother-in-law, had named the car George. So the name George went through 3 owners.
So I'm adopted, and my mom names all her cars and all her stuff. So we might be related. Like, I don't know.
I think it's possible.
We do relate everything to the names.
We both grew up in California, so it is.
Oh, bad news for you guys. Sorry to tell you. So okay, let me get caught up in chat. Stacy Rogers says, on a separate note, I just want thank you. She loved my daughter's graduation vlog. Thank you very much. If you have questions for them, I've kept them almost 2 hours, guys. So let's get the questions out here now so we can give them their evening back. Let's see. Juan, thank you so much. That must have come around after I left. Hey, Ray J's in the house. Thank you for the shirt comment. Orlando Parks Rover. I need to head to bed. Great. Thank you, Flash in the Pan. I'm glad you're here. Maybe there wasn't any questions. I saw some, the name highlighted. I maybe we're caught up on it. If you have questions, hit me now. I think they're just talking about Snorlaxes and old cars from 1979. Okay, I really have to go to bed. Oh, thank you, Flash in your Pan. So I guess I'll leave it to you guys. What do you guys want them to know about your channel? What's coming up? Are you daily vlogging days with you? You got food, you got Christmas, you got Disney, you've got some what I'll call vlogging going on. What do you want the people to know you got coming up?
Well, the reason why we named ourselves Peppertreevilla is because we didn't want to be pigeonholed onto one topic. So we're a multifaceted channel.
Love that.
Yeah. So this whole brand that we've created for Peppertreevilla is just all over the map. Like you said, cooking, baking, Disney, Christmas, and food reviews, just lots of different things that are going to be coming to it. Right now we have PTV Live every Thursday night at 7 from the West Coast, 10 o'clock on the East. That's every Thursday night, only on PTV. And then we also have Ben's new show,
Life with Ben. And it's my attempt to show my boring existence, and I try and make it exciting.
How do you like your Mac? That's what I need to know.
I love it. I just downloaded a video software program this afternoon, and hopefully I'll be able to learn a little bit more about it so I won't be depending on Arnie to edit my show.
You had quite the journey. You had to go like 3 different places, am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, we started in Walnut Creek at an Apple store. Then we went to Pleasant Hill to Best Buy to see if they had it in stock there, because Apple wouldn't finance my thing without jumping through a lot of hoops.
I remember that.
I had a Best Buy card with a 0 balance, so I thought, let's get a 12-month deal going. Well,
we can all relate to just let me buy your stuff, lady or man or whatever.
The Pleasant Hill store didn't have it, but the Emeryville store had it. So we were all over the East Bay last week trying to get my laptop.
I was exhausted.
First world problems, all right. Come on.
Yeah. In techie, yeah, it was like he was consulting with me the whole time.
But there are more episodes of Life with Ben coming up, including one showing up on Tuesday morning at 7 on the West Coast.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, we're going to do our best to try and post that one weekly at 7 a.m. So that always drops 7 a.m. only on PTV.
I need to get you to do something like that with dolewhipdad because
Yeah, we're very happy about the fortuitousness of Peppertreevilla's initials being PTV. So it just worked very well.
I agree.
And then we also have just regular videos that will be just dropping occasionally. We want to do some food and cooking. Doug has a regular show that's going to be coming up soon. Do you want to talk about that at all?
It's really to go over a lot of, I think of cooking and recipes as like a time capsule of history.
Ooh.
And I have been through this, I think of addiction. I've been collecting a lot of vintage cookbooks and a lot of food that's related to a specific time period. And just amazing stuff that I've been getting at estate sales. So I've been buying collections of cookbooks and people's, you know, when you looked at your grandmother's little book of binder, it had all of her recipes stuffed in. Well, these estate sales, you sell them, and I've been collecting them. So I'm opening up people's lives and seeing hand notes and written recipes, and I want to share that with people. And we could talk about, you know, what food was made in the late 1950s. So, and
because cooking was, maybe still is, but certainly was such a family event. I have my grandmother's. It's like a 3-ring, it's a 2-ring binder actually, and it's, I don't know, they're like cards. They're not. It's not even a book. It's cards, and it's awesome. And it's my, like, I probably never even opened it, but it's my grandma's. Like, it's family. I don't know. I love that you're doing that. That sounds cool.
So yeah, I just like the whole vintagey kind of like of food, because what people used to eat at certain times to what we eat now is completely different.
Yeah, and
Happy Meals.
Yeah, part of that will probably be a series on eating like Walt. We have a book called Eat Like Walt.
Oh, yeah.
Where it talks about the history of Walt Disney and the food that he enjoyed.
Wow.
Chili was his favorite food. So we're going to have a series of episodes about eating like Walt, and then showing how those foods were cooked.
When we went in November of 2017, the author of this book just came out, and it's called Eat Like Walt. It's a fancy hardback book. And she was there at the Disney Gallery, and she was signing it. And it has the history of Walt Disney. And it's called The Wonderful World of Disney Food. And Marcy was there, and it was forwarded by John Lasseter. And she signed it. It says, for Doug and Arnie, Eat Like Walt, Mary, Disneyland, 11/11/17.
Very cool.
So we're gonna be featuring some things from that book.
We're gonna talk about it.
But that's gonna be Doug's show. And right now, should we say what the time is? Sure. We're calling it Old Timey Kitchen.
Love it.
Okay, so that's Doug's show. And then eventually, when we have 1,000 subscribers, which it could happen this week. We might get 1,000 subscribers this week, because it's happening so fast. Once that starts, I will probably start almost a daily vlog, where I'm just going to touch on this day in Disney history. So it's going to be just a daily vlog kind of thing, where I may even live stream the thing and keep it that way, so people can just pop in and we'll discuss things for about 15-30 minutes, and that'll be it.
Yeah, because we'll talk about, we saw Up for the first time. It was released in this day. And I'm like, yeah, we saw it then. And you can kind of tell your stories, because when this was asked a question on us a couple of nights ago, it's like, you're such a big Disney fan. What do you like about Disney? And to us, it's all of the above. But I actually spoke with somebody who they love the theme parks. They could care less about the characters of the movies. They don't see any of the movies or anything related to it. It's the theme park of Disney they absolutely love. And I had to think about it. I'm like, you could actually like one part of Disney and nothing else. It was weird. And it does happen. There is some people just love the movies and love what it is, but they could care less ever walk into a theme park.
So that's part of what I love about Disney, though. There's so many layers. Like, you can be a foodie and be in love with just World Showcase, never even check out the rest of Epcot and love it, right? And there's so many other things. You know, the music of Disney, the movies of Disney, the characters, the theme parks. You could be a cruise person and never even go into a park and love it. I mean, there's so many layers. It's a huge company, obviously.
So the only reason why I keep branding it, only on PTV, is the fact that I want everyone to understand that we are like a television network. We are going to have multiple shows coming, and it's not just PTV Live. It's not just Life with Ben. It's going to be multiple shows, and we're going to be releasing them on different days during the week, so that you can tune in and say, hey, I'll watch this or I'll watch that. And then eventually, hey, you know what? They've got a playlist going. Let's just watch the whole thing. We can binge watch the whole thing.
I love that. So I'm going to get into the weeds a little bit on my nerddom for YouTube, but lots of people give people advice about find your niche and cut it down. And there's some truth to that. There's definitely some truth to that. Yeah. That said, you know what your content's about? I'll tell you, Arnie and Doug and Ben. And what you guys love is what you should be doing, and you are. We're at like Fox, ABC, CBS. You know what they don't have? The same thing all day long. So we are channels. The word is channel, and it's rightfully so. So people, like, I've had people say, well, are you Disney or are you not Disney? Yes is the answer. I'm here. You know what my channel's about? Whatever the heck I want.
Yeah.
And if you're watching my, I mean, my wife did a little, I think we only had like 2 episodes because the kid moved a little farther, but with my grandson and my wife cooking, it was cooking in the kitchen with Gigi, Grandma, and Grayson, whatever. And you don't have to watch that. If that bores you to death, don't watch it. But you might like my Disney 40th anniversary baseball card collection, or, you know, whatever, or my leadership stuff, or my nonprofit stuff, or my Disney stuff. You guys have a bunch of passions. That makes you for sure a winning channel.
And you see, that's the same thing that any channel has. If you watch NBC, you're not going to sit there and watch this show and that show just because it's on the network. You don't have to. You can pick and choose what you want to watch. That's how we are with PTV.
Yeah. I mean, whatever channel, pick whatever your favorite channel is. It has stuff on there that you hate too. Well, maybe not hate, but you're not interested in, right? Like, I pick any show, whatever channel it's on. There's other things besides that. Like Breaking Bad was the best show, in my opinion, in the history of the world. Was it AMC? It also has, I don't know, a bunch of stuff that have nothing to do with Breaking Bad. I like sports. You know, you don't have to, there's so much. And I believe in niching down. I believe in being specific. That said, I like a lot of stuff. You guys like a lot of stuff, and that's why you're going to have success. You guys being you and sharing that. I say this a lot too. If you're really into shoelaces, man, and you want to talk about shoelaces all day long, YouTube gives you a vehicle to go find 8 million other lunatics who like shoelaces just like you. And you can get paid to do it. That's nuts, but it's freaking awesome.
It's true.
And we're also, YouTube has made it so you need to have an umbrella, because, you know, a lot of people I have this channel that I just do this, and I'm trying to grow that part of that channel. Then I have my main channel that's doing it. So that people have multiple channels. Well, if you want to get it monetized, all that work you have to do to 4, 3, 2, 3, some are 2, some are 3. Why don't you encompass in one, be generic, and make it as a broader thing? And I looked at them like, I don't have the time to be vintage cookbooks or cooking, and then one being
the time to be you, right? Because you're kind of busy being you anyway.
Right. So, and when we can just grab the subscriber count and the hours watched under one and put it all together, it's a lot easier than growing a lot of little individual ones. Because
I had people who I really respect tell me that I was doing it wrong, and I was going to do a sports channel and this channel, that channel. I thought, this is stupid. Like, I had a guy one time. So I'm a big UFC fan, and I did a couple live streams about UFC. And one time a guy came in one of my live streams like, "What is this? I'm going to unsubscribe to you. You're talking about Disney." I'm like, "See ya, I don't care." Like, the world is so big that if you're just wanting one thing, you're kind of useless. I mean, you're fake. It's not even really human. You're like a fake thing. So I think it's better. Like, I mean, David Duchovny was great on the X-Files, but you know what else he could do? Anything he wanted. I don't know why I thought of him right now, but my point is, even actors are different characters. You know, I think it's silly, and we're not faking it. We're being us, and people are gonna respond to that.
Well, taking that one step further, kind of like, okay, I'm not going to watch any ABC because they've got a news show. I don't want to watch the news, so I'm going to unsubscribe from ABC. Like,
exactly.
Why? They've got other things that you can watch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, someone like me, I'm doing a vlogging series. If I want to do a 2-minute video of me making a grilled cheese sandwich, I have that option.
Yep.
You have to watch anything else. And I mean, who has the time to build the subscriber for every single individual channel?
It just, when you say it, it's just so obvious, right? I mean, it's crazy.
It is. I mean, you think about all these could be individual, but we can't spend.
They are. They're individual videos, or maybe individual, maybe a series even.
Right.
But,
hey Siri, note to self: grilled cheese sandwich.
For Apple people. So yeah,
I love it.
Anything else you want to know about us, or
everything? So Juan's in there saying, "I want to believe." I did see your George Michael. Yes, that's the best song ever. In case you were wondering, what's the best song ever? The answer: "Last Christmas" by George Michael. I don't know. I love that song so much. Yeah, the trolls don't matter. Chat, you guys are making my day. Chat, if you haven't gone and subscribed to their channel yet, I think you're up 5. I'm pretty sure you were at 920 or 925 now. So if you're one of those 5, thank you guys. If you haven't already subscribed to them, go do so. It's in the show, well, the video description. It's in the chat a bunch of times. Their Instagram, their Twitter's there too. I just want to say thank you guys. I knew I liked you. I like you even more after, and my goodness, almost 2 hours. I almost feel like I need to say I'm sorry.
I wonder how I'm
No
a little
apologies.
rumbly.
Yeah, I'm a little hungry
yeah, I
now,
was
so
like, what
yeah,
did
we'll
we
probably go
eat?
grab dinner.
I hope that we had a big water right before we got on.
But thank you so much.
Yes.
It's so nice to be able to have this great connection like this with talking with someone, you know, who has actually so many shared experiences. It's great.
Yeah, you know, I kind of, you're the first, I don't want to live back in California. You almost make me want to say that I wish I still lived in California so we could do it. I don't like California though. I'm like, traffic, I hate traffic. So
Yeah, that is the number one thing we've talked about. It's the cost of living and the traffic are the two big cons
Yeah.
in
But, you know,
California. But there's a lot of
for me,
pros.
for
that,
me,
oh yeah.
I work 16 miles away, and it can take me anywhere between 20 minutes and 60 minutes to get to work. It just depends on the day.
I had an hour commute. I had a 70-minute commute. I had a 45-minute commute. And sometimes I was going very little. So I lived in the Inland Empire for a while. I would have to go to Orange County on occasion. If I had an appointment in Orange County, I was grumpy. Do you know why? Because that was my half of my day. Like I could have one meeting and that's it the whole dang day. It was kill me.
The 91 is just killer. The
91 sucks. So when we would go to Disneyland, so we lived in Banning, California for a while. So that's just, you guys know Banning?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Just west of Palm Springs for anybody who cares. So Disneyland, it should be like 90 minutes. Okay. It's not close. It's not far, but it's not close. We'd be done with Disney. We'd close it up the end of the day. We would get on that, where Green River is on 91. Oh my gosh, the whole 8 lanes wide, brake lights forever at 2:30 in the morning. That I remember one night just going, "This is stupid. I'm gone." And we were.
When we were in Southern California, we lived off the 55. So if you went from North Orange County down to Newport Beach, it could take you 2 hours on that freeway sometimes, just depending on the map.
Chat, that's not that far.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
It's about 9 miles.
It's insane. Yeah.
I mean,
if I'm driving for 2 hours and I go like somewhere cool and far, that's one thing. I like driving.
People living with disabilities could move faster on the sidewalk than we did on the freeway.
Now, I will say this: the longest commute, or longest trip I ever had from Disneyland to my apartment, which was 10 minutes away from the park, was a little over an hour. But the circumstances were extreme. It was the winter of 1995, and I got to Disneyland. I had the day off, so I spent the day at the park. It was raining, torrential rain, and the park only had 550 guests in the park, so they closed early. As I was walking down Main Street,
rain days are the best at Disneyland.
It was fantastic. I just walked onto everything. But as I was walking down Main Street, I saw cast members pushing with push brooms the water out of the stores because it was so the drainage systems were overwhelmed. They could not drain the water.
Wow. Yeah, because they don't get any rain. Yeah.
So I got into my 4x4. I had a Ford Ranger at that time. I called it the Band-Aid because that was the color of the truck. And I left the parking lot, and it took me an hour to get home. And I had to travel streets. I was one of the only vehicles that could get through some of the intersections because I was in a 4x4.
Wow. Yeah, I had an account. When I was living in Banning, the office was in San Bernardino, and I had an account. Well, you could see Angel Stadium it was right there. So you guys know how close that is to the Disney parks. And I mean, they were great people. It was an air conditioning. It doesn't matter. But I loved them. I liked going there, but I hated it because it was my whole dang day. It was my whole dang day because I should have just did one, 9 a.m. meeting and then gone to the parks and hung out there because I wasn't going anywhere anyway. But but outside, Southern California, all of California. You guys are in Middle California, I guess. You can see yourself Northern California being in the Bay Area, or
it is.
It's Northern California.
Okay, yeah, NorCal, SoCal. Well, regardless, all of California is beautiful, and I do have to say, Reno, the Sierra Nevada mountains are one of my favorite places in the world. I'm a national parks nut, and Yosemite is like my favorite place in the world. And Sierra's and Reno's right there, so that's beautiful. That's nice.
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful area. It's northern Nevada, which I call Reno kind of California light.
Yeah.
So
Reno's right on the border, right? And
it's on the border. It's right on the border.
It's literally right on the border. It's like 12 miles. The city limit starts from the Nevada state line to the city limits of Reno is about 10, 12 miles. So I always considered myself faux California, even though I was born and raised. And my parents came from the Bay Area. So they were buried in the Santa Cruz Mountains. and they were both born and raised in now it's called Silicon Valley.
Yeah, sure.
My dad graduated with Steve Wozniak.
Oh, no way. Wow. The Woz.
Yeah, so that's how far that goes back. So that's Cupertino. So that's where my parents were born and raised in the South Bay, and then they moved and got a house up in Truckee.
Oh man, I hope they sold the house they had when it became what it became. Because my I was born in the San Fernando Valley, West Covina, but we lived in the San Fernando Valley. My parents had a little tiny house in the San Fernando Valley. If you know the LA area, you know San Fernando Valley. They probably sold it. I knew the numbers, but not a lot. And then a few years later, that same piece of nothing house is $1 million.
Yeah.
The thing that happened to your family being there.
It's multi-millions for shacks now. And his parents are my grandparents and all that. He's tried to go back. You know, my dad did drive around and says, well, that house I grew up is now torn down and it's a McMansion.
Yeah.
Because those were all ticky-tacky late 50s, you know, houses or mid 50s, and that stuff.
Brady Bunch style. I mean, Brady Bunch style houses.
Yep. I'm looking at something here in the chat. It says Stacy saying, Juan, you should be hanging out with Resort TV 1 right now. You can really be the Disneyland R-Johns.
Yeah, he's there right now. And Juan, I saw Juan in the chat. He was saying he's lucky enough, Orange County, right? But you get to work from home. Stacy says that she lives, I think, in Pennsylvania. And if you're worried about earthquakes, you can leave all your collectibles at her place. She said that earlier.
That's very kind, Stacy. That's very kind. Thank you.
But I also heard that New York and Washington are having really bad earthquakes too. So I don't think they're in any place in the United States. Oklahoma has a ton, and that's in the middle of America.
Okay. All right. So I live here in Texas. I lived in a little town called, I don't now, but a little town called Azle, and they're freaking out because they would have 2.0s and 2.5s. I lived in San. You guys know, I guarantee you know. I lived on the San Andreas Fault. I could show people that's the fault right there. We had earthquakes where, you know, stuff moved. These people who are afraid because, I mean, you have a coffee and you shake more than the earthquakes that happen out here. It's not, no, they don't. Oklahoma had some real ones, but California, where you guys are and where I was in San Diego, that San Andreas Fault, that's the no joke fault. The stuff we have out here is I don't have anything to write about, and I write for the newspapers, so I better tell people we had a 2.0.
Ben and I both experienced the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989, and we also were very fortunate to experience the Northridge earthquake in 1994.
I felt that, yeah.
We had been on a choir tour through church, and we're sleeping on the cement floor of Fullerton Evangelical Free Church.
My grandma lived in Fullerton for a while. I know that area.
Yeah, so at 4 or 5 in the morning, whenever the earthquake was, 4:30. All of a sudden, the ceiling tiles just jumped. I grabbed a metal post that was in the middle of the room.
Yeah, the ceiling tiles weren't the only things that jumped.
Yeah, it's true. We all did. I jumped up, grabbed that pole, and that thing shook so hard it threw me to the ground.
Wow.
And we had to actually drive through the Inland Empire up into the high desert through Victorville.
Yeah.
So forth to get into Bakersfield. What was that? 58. We took 58 down.
Yeah.
So that was just because the highway had collapsed at Interstate 5 and 14.
I mean, those are the two you're talking. The Loma Prieta and the Northridge. Those are the two
biggest ones in the past.
In our lifetime, those are the real big ones.
The past 30 years are the biggest ones, and
yeah,
you know, that's what people say. Well, you have earthquakes. I'm like, no, we really don't. I mean,
we have a bunch, but not that do it. Like on the Landers quake, but that was in the middle of nowhere. But I felt that one too. But we do, but they're like if you look at you do. I don't even look there. If you look at Mammoth, that sucker's always rocking, and there's always part of the San Andreas. If you're talking about like what in Texas they report on, you guys don't even consider an earthquake because, but you have them every day.
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
The Earth is moving everywhere. Yeah, we'll have something that will be major catastrophic because we're actually on real faults and not little slivers. But with all that, you know, we all have to choose where we live, and I don't think there's any place perfect. You just have to go where you want to go, and you make it the best you could do. But
so let me ask you this really fast.
Go ahead.
Earthquakes. You live right there. You are the absolute epicenter of where an earthquake could hit. Are you more afraid of Hey, Rob, are you more afraid of an earthquake or a tornado?
Tornado. They have a season called tornado season.
I had a block, and I'm not joking, a block away, an F0 turned into an F1 a block from my house just last week. I've lived through earthquakes. I've stood there and giggled while they happened. Earthquakes can be, I'm not going to pretend like you can't die, but normally in America, not in Tijuana, not in somewhere that they don't have building codes, mostly earthquakes are just, oh, wow, that was an earthquake. Tornadoes are scary, and hurricanes, they're scary stuff, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's just like going on a thrilling ride. It's the anticipation. With tornado, you know it's going to come. You're looking out and you're scared to death. It's the waiting. Is it going to happen to me? Hurricanes are terrifying because you know 5 days in advance. It's terrifying. Earthquakes, you're laying in bed. Oh, I shook. It fell. You go back to sleep.
Exactly.
In
Hey,
advance.
honey, was that an earthquake? I don't know. I'll tell you tomorrow when I look at the news.
But so are earthquakes dangerous? Yes, they can be, but they're not devastating as wind and rain. Tornadoes and hurricanes are terrifying, and they have seasons. It is guaranteed. Earthquakes might happen every 30, 50, 100 years.
Yeah.
So we don't have a problem. We don't have that sort of stuff, but the middle America, it's terrifying. I don't want to know and freak out 5 days in advance to know that this is going to wipe me out.
When we have lightning here in the Bay Area, that makes the news. Lightning. We don't get lightning.
We don't get lightning.
That's funny. This is weather talk with TBV now, but when I love weather, and I didn't, because I'm from San Diego, we didn't have weather. We had fog that rolled in the night. That was our weather. But so you look at those maps, those radar maps. Dark green was a big deal when I lived in Southern California.
Oh yeah.
I don't even care about it. Like dark green affected my day. Should I go to work? Am I going to drive? Like what an idiot I was. Now I don't even bother. If it's not like that bright red, whatever the next color is, I don't even care, because I remember the first real Texas rainstorm I was in. I was on the freeway. It was in Arlington, Texas. And there was rain coming down in such a way that I couldn't see forward. And I'm like, I'm in my car. Like, what is this? This is real. I'd never seen water falling from the sky like that, because I was a Southern California boy who thought fog was a big deal. So, yeah, and you guys, you're in the Bay Area. You've got some of the best weather. I mean, it's a little chilly, a little chillier than people think, but perfect weather if you know to bring a sweater. I mean, you guys.
It depends on the area that you are in the Bay Area, because if you're in San Francisco in the summer, it'll be 59 at the end of your workday. But if you live in Walnut Creek, just 20 minutes to the east, it'll be 95 degrees.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a cold 59. Like, it's a wet.
It is
59. Like, I've been in San Francisco. Well, what's that funny quote? The summer or coldest winter ever. That was the summer in San Francisco. Somebody had that funny quote. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a lot of microclimates, but we have what is the very typical Mediterranean, where it's not really hot, it's not really cold, it's not humid, it's very arid. It's kind of like we do live in what's called the perfect Goldilocks, is Central California, which is a little bit of Northern California. We don't have extremes of anything of weather. Yeah. That's the weirdest thing, and that's I'll kind of take it.
Not even humidity. It rarely gets humid here.
Very rarely.
Not hot humid. You get the wet humid, but not when it's hot.
Yeah, not when it's hot.
No.
When it's hot, it's dry.
Yeah.
And occasionally there'll be like a storm that comes off from one of the hurricanes from the Gulf of Mexico, or that was close, and then it might scoot up. We might have a humid half of a day where, it's almost like Florida, but nothing like we've experienced in Florida.
When I lived in San Diego, we rarely got 100 degrees, but when we did, it wasn't. I complained about it because I was going to do what I'm going to do, but it was not like Texas 100 degrees is nothing like San Diego 100 degrees. It's like a whole different planet.
Oh, it is. It's like you're in a terrarium. It's just so muggy.
Yeah.
Stuffy and heavy even. Yeah.
And heavy. It's hard to breathe.
Yeah, it feels weird. Like, I don't know. Heavy, it makes me feel like I'm lying when I say that, but it's a heavy feeling. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Jim, we really need to continue this forever. Or Jeff. Jeff.
I think that I was going to say we could do this until my birthday, which is
literally till the cows come home. And I want to continue. We need to keep in touch and even just have private Skypey moments or video moments too. We have so much to share, and we would love to share with you. But we have to end this, and we know we got to do this.
And we'd like to also extend the invitation to you. We'll reach out to you, and we'd love to have you on our show as well.
All right, anytime. I would love anytime. You let me know, and I'll do it. Guys, again in chat, give them some love. Go over, check out their channels. I think that's a perfect place to say goodnight. Chat, I didn't interact too much, but love you. Really glad you're here. Go give them some love. Last chance. Anything you want to say to them before I say goodbye to them?
Just, we thank everybody for our growth and the support and the love. And this is getting into this YouTube thing it's not really scary. It can be, but we just appreciate everybody giving us the love and the support and meeting exciting people like you and using technology to our advantage for good and not evil.
Love that. Love that. Charles, I appreciate that. Checking us out because of you guys. Stacy came in a little late. She wanted to know why Peppertreevilla is called that. You want to give them the 30-second version before we say goodnight?
Sure. Peppertreevilla, we got our name because of the pepper trees that we saw at Disneyland. And we planted a pepper tree in our yard, and we wanted something that would say, this is who we are. So we have a pepper tree in our front yard. It's a California pepper tree. And
it's our mascot.
It's our mascot. Keith is the tree's name.
I love that so much. Love that.
Pepper tree. There's a video on our channel about Keith the pepper tree and explains the name and how that happened.
It's an evergreen indigenous to California, and there's little peppercorns on it that actually smells like black pepper.
Love it.
The house has been always referred to a villa from day one.
Yeah. And if you ever see it, in pictures or whatever, you'll know it's the right house because it's 3 different shades of chocolate. We have dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate.
Yeah, we painted our house.
We're all hungry again.
So we just wanted to thank everybody and all your subscription and your love, and that this is just very exciting to meet all of you all. All of you all. Does not make sense.
I'll tell you,
This like Texas, all of y'all.
This community is just so vibrant and so supportive and loving. We are so thankful for everyone out there.
We are.
I mean, we call the people that watch our channel and have subscribed villagers for a reason, because it's a village, and we just love all the villages that are part of Peppertreevilla.
And hashtag adventures out there. I like how you guys throw that into your videos all the time. Makes me happy. Captain Akron, Nona Grace, I'm glad you're here. We're closing up right now, though. Charles, welcome to this channel. Thanks for coming by. Obviously, he's a big fan of you guys. He's just said so. I think it's time to say goodnight. I appreciate you guys being here. Go do something awesome for somebody. Have a great week. Go subscribe to their channel. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for being here. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.